6. Command Toga, SRS runway, auto thrust is blue. 80 knots, thrust set. 5500. 31. Rotate.
Hello, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Man, I had a minor frame drop there. The internet has been a little bit iffy today. I'm a little bit nervous for the stream, but right now it seemed like it locked it out and we're doing good, so we're just gonna roll with it because I am excited for today's stream. If the internet does tank, then we're just gonna have to Alt F4 and we'll do a members only thing. How about that? But if the internet doesn't tank, we're going to have a fun little stream coming at you today. We have a broke A320 sitting here on the ramp in Mexico City, right where we left off. Didn't even attend for this, but kind of doing a little, I guess you call it a little mini Mexico tour, if you will, or South America, because we're going to Guatemala. But anyway, I am excited for today's flight. I hope y'all are excited for this as well. I want to get something out real quick before I forget. Yesterday's stream, I have to apologize, guys. I was going through some of the chat logs post-stream, just like I do on everything, and I realized that my live chat box was filtered for me on my end, so I wasn't seeing half, maybe not half, but like there was a significant percentage, maybe 30% of messages that I never even saw when we were live. I noticed I missed a couple of membership messages as well, and I just want to take time to say I apologize for that. That's totally on me. That's my bad. So I hope we can not have that issue today. I think everything is looking good right now. So we got that out of the way. I'm ready to go. We're in the lovely A320 Fenix. Here we are. We don't have any IEs. Viva runs IEs because, hey, at least they got something going right over there in Mexico. But we're going to pretend we have IEs. We got the CFMs on here today. We're in the 320 right where we left off in Mexico City. and we're going to head over to Guatemala. We got high altitude ops again. We got special little procedures going down into Guatemala. It should be a lot of fun. I've flown in there one other time on stream, and it can be hairy. I've been there in real life multiple times. It's a pretty neat approach. It's pretty cool, so I hope you guys are excited for that and follow along with me today. Aaron Hastings, what up, man? Good to see you. Yo-Yo V1 back to my mini FCU earlier. Hype. Yes, the mini FCU is up and out for pre-order. The Kickstarter projects link is in the Nightbot command. It'll be going through the chat periodically if you want to check it out, guys. Hey, you know, it's Kickstarter can be a risk. It can you never know what happens with Kickstarter, but I'm really hoping that this one is going to turn out the way we all hope. I think it will. So if you haven't already, take a look at that mini FCU. It's going to be, we talked about it a little bit on the last stream. It's if you're going to be able to control your airplane from the FCU just like the real airplane, you're going to feel another level of connection with the Airbus that, unless you have flown the sim, the actual sim, or the airplane itself, you can't experience that necessarily. So I'm excited for it because that is the heart and soul of flying the airplane on autopilot, right? That FCU, that's where all the commands are done. So I'm excited for it. The link will be going through the chat. Do a pre-order. I believe, I think the estimated target date was November of this year, which is actually kind of soon for a Kickstarter. Normally a Kickstarter comes out maybe a year plus in advance. So, hey, if they can turn these things out, ship them out by November, that would be pretty sweet. Callie Simmer, good to see you, my friend. He says, I got mine at the $159 price point. They've raised over $250,000. Wow, that is phenomenal. I bet there's a bunch of V1 supporters in there too. So if there's a little spot for a message, be like, yeah, I'm a V1 fan. V1 Nation is back in the FCU. Hopefully we don't get burned on it. I don't think we will. I don't think there's any reason to be concerned. I like what they're doing because if maybe we'll have a mini EFIS, you know, now you can start piecing together your cockpit, right? Mini EFIS, mini FCU, get a Throttletek, get a side stick. Man, it's going to be the next best thing since being in the Level D sim. So I'm excited. Alberto D, always a pleasure to see you, man, rocking the V1 wings. Viva Airbus for the win. Aerobus. I feel like every time I see a Viva airplane, I got to say Aerobus. I cannot say Airbus. It's a Viva Aerobus. I see these guys all the time when I'm flying down in Mexico, and it's just it's a good deal. So here we go. Let's get this thing fired up. We'll talk about the MEL item that we have today. We do have something broken on this airplane, and we're going to talk about the procedures. I had to do the same exact procedure for 3 or 4 legs, about a month ago. And let me tell you, doing it once, you're like, yeah, okay. Do it 3-4 times in a row, it gets exhausting. So I'm gonna walk you through that today, and it's gonna be, if anything, it's gonna show you really how redundant the Airbus is when it comes to flight control. So I'm excited. Let's get into it. Charlie Romeo, real quick. Good to see you, man. I love the add-on hardware, but in my opinion, go VR, and you have a completely immersive experience, and the hardware is built in virtually. Charlie Romeo, you bring up a great point, my friend. VR for me, unfortunately, it's not in the cards right now, but I have heard the same from a lot of people. Once you go VR, it's hard to go back. So for that reason, I'm not going VR because I like streaming, and streaming under VR is not all that good. And if I get sucked into the VR game, man, then it'd just be lights out. It would just be, I can't even, it's like a gateway drug to simulation. Lauren, good to see you. V2500's in the chat. Chris Jackson, good afternoon, my friend. All right, let's get this thing fired up, shall we? I'll get the sim sounds up. Everything is up and running. Here we are in our lovely Fenix 320, old school dials and round gauges. Let me make sure the sounds are up for when we power this sucker on, because there's nothing like the old wine of, well, there's nothing like old wine, but there's nothing like that old wind up sound of the analog gauges. So here we go, up to the overhead 27.6, battery 1, uh-oh. On cue.
I literally just came out of an Airbus room where all the buses are born. Got to see both final assembly lines for 320 FAM and 220.
Whoa!
Gonna be getting on the new plane and getting out of here soon. Have a great stream. Trying not to dono on final op.
Wrong side sim, my man. Thank you, dude, for the $15 bank angle check right back at you. We're going to get together probably next week, man. We're going to do something. We have to do it. Thank you so much for the support, Wrong Side. Have fun over there at the plant. Put some pictures up. I want to see some of those new birds, or send them to me, man. Send me some pictures of the new bird coming to the line, because that's exciting news, dude. Thank you for the support. Enjoy your trip home. No donos on final. Check. Appreciate you, man. All right, here we go. External power is coming online. Let's get the airplane powered up. Paul Shoesmith just got here just in time. Welcome to the stream, dude. Yeah, we're just getting fired up, dude. Scott, I got in on the mini FCU. Will be sweet. Oh, yeah. Hey, I think it's going to be sweet, Scott. Richard, good to see you, man. Kind of scrolling back here. I feel like I have to not miss chat messages today because yesterday I just felt bad. But, man, yesterday was a fun stream in that 310, wasn't it? I was kind of sad. Not going to lie, I was kind of sad when I pulled the yoke off the desk. But then when I didn't have the yoke in front of me, I realized how awesome it was to have a side stick. So there we go. Are we going to be getting failures today? Yes. Well, we're operating with an inoperative system, which we're going to go over here as soon as we get all powered up here. Richard, yeah, the sims have gone absolutely nuts. And you're going to see some crazy stuff today, simulation-wise. And the level of modeling, too, you know, that you're going to see is pretty cool, because what we're going to do, we test pretty much all the redundancies, and it worked just like it did in the real airplane. So, up to the overhead we shall go, and let's go ahead and do our flow. Cruise supply oxygen, ground control on, CVR test. All right, that looks good. Fault, captain switch. Gasp, we have a fault in the flight control ELAC 1. Yep, that was my my sentiments when I got into the airplane, and I saw that as well. So we are going to be operating with ELAC 1 in op today, folks. So ELAC 1 is in op, that's normal. Just picture a nice orange sticker there that says in op, and then right down here somewhere we'd have a nice bright yellow sticker that says Cat 2 downgrade or Cat 1 downgrade, basically downgraded. You can only do Cat 1. And then the airplane that I had also had that. It had a microphone trigger in op, and it had a bunch of other stuff broken too. But that's normal. We'll go over that in a little bit. Let's get the airplane loaded up. That goes into auto. There you go. Auto. Boom, boom, nav, position 1. I'm flying. Let's go auto, RMU. Landing elevation, very important. That is an auto, especially high altitude ops. Couple fault lights there. That's normal. Everything looks good. Fire test. Number 1, number 2. We'll pretend that Phantom already did the APU test, which he did. We'll do this here, and a PA is out and on. Done deal. All right, that looks good. Let's come over here. We'll do a quick hydraulic check. We do have hydraulics. That's normal. Engine, we have oil. That's good. Flight controls are all ambered out, which is normal. Down to the MCDU. Let's go ATSU. Let's get an initialization started. You guys need to get in on hitting that like button. No flex takeoffs. That's right. No flex takeoffs. So basically, if we do a before takeoff checklist, or if we do a lineup and we don't have the number of likes that we're looking for, we're going to have to start flexing on this channel. I'm all right with Phantom watchers, but if you're going to Phantom watch, you got to smash that like button. I repossess airplanes, and when Microsoft and X-Plane are pretty much one by one, it blows my mind. Richard, yeah, you repossess airplanes? Jeez, that's got to be never a dull moment, I would imagine. You know, it's funny, you talk about repossess. It's not quite the channel, but I imagine some of you in chat that are subscribed to my channel probably watch this channel because somehow it found its way into my YouTube suggestion feed, and I ended up staying watching an hour-long video when I only had like 8 hours of rest on an overnight and didn't get any sleep. But it's Cockpit Casual, is that it? Where this guy, he just ferries airplanes around for Nomad or Nomadic Airlines. Man, I watched one where they circled the globe in like 6 days. And I don't know, I've never heard of the channel before. I started watching that video. 45 minutes later, I wanted to watch another one, and I'm just like, it's awesome. I mean, it's not awesome. It makes me tired thinking of what they do, but they flew from New Mexico all the way to Xiamen, China, straight through. They stopped in Hawaii for an hour and stopped in Guam for an hour. Heck no, dude. I'm fatigued just thinking about that. So, but awesome channel, awesome videos. Those guys are seriously. I hope they get paid handsomely because they do some serious hardcore work. All right, we are Viva 357. Let's put that in here. Cost index 99. Cruise flight level, we have filed 370 today. That's in the box. IRS and NIT, we're not going to leave that down. Ground temp is +1. Cool. Flight plan, Mexico City. Let's go ahead and get everything set up. There's 5 right. Let's take a look at the weather. Hopefully it's still out of the north. He pops up on your TikTok? Nice. Yeah, I can't imagine the amount of type ratings he has. I know he's got all kinds. I mean, he's flying 7.5, 7.6, 7.8, 7.3s. It's crazy. All right, Mexico City 210 at 4. That's fine. Hazy. It's hazy, and it's hazy in the sim. Isn't that awesome? All right, so we will blast off of 5. So we'll go ahead and just go back to our Navigraph. We'll come back down here at departure. We'll take 5 right for departure. We are on V. We don't want to screw this up. This is going to be kind of spicy out of here as well. It's going to make for a hell of a view. Hopefully that haze won't be too bad. So we are on the Tevos 2 Alpha departure, which is going to be out to Tivos, which is climbing right turn off of 5 right. So let's go ahead and find ourselves the Tivos 2 Alpha. The Tivo 2 Alpha, not Bravo. We're going to insert that. Oops, I double clicked it. All right, that's all the way out to Tivos. Then we join the Upper Tango Airway all the way out to pretty much Aurora VOR. Then from there, we're going to load up the approach. Now, depending on when you come in, you may fly the Star. Most of the time that I've been down to Aurora or Guatemala, they just give us the approach via the Aurora VOR. So I'll show you what that looks like here, and that's how we're going to set it up. That's also how we're filed on today's particular flight. So there are some arrivals, but we're looking at the ILS Zulu for runway 2. It's going to start off of the Aurora VOR. So we're going to go ahead and do the ILS Zulu number 2, and no stars, but approach via Aurora, which is at the VOR. We're going to insert that puppy right there. Secondary, let's do a quick initialization. We'll get this all done, and then we'll begin the boarding process, and we'll go over our MAL because it's about 7 pages long, and we got to do a bunch of nonsense. All right, MMM X-ray, MMM X-ray. There we go. Secondary, second. If we have to come back, God help us. It's going to be 5 right again. ILS 5 right. Secondary perf. I think it's like 211. Not going to look it up right now. Winds are pretty much nil, 0 for 0. Temperature on the ECAM is 24 degrees already. And QNH, let's hit the magic barrel ref key. 1026 in freedom units, that's 3030. 3030 Winchester, that's a good round. 3030 is set. Secondary is done. RadNav, we will hard tune something on this depart tour. So let's come back to Benito Juarez. I don't have TikTok because of China. Yeah, I don't have TikTok either. RNAV departures 5 right. Let's double check this here. I don't think we need to hard tune anything, actually. I think we're going to be fine. Nothing to hard tune. Oh, Internet, don't do that to me. Don't do that to me, Internet. It's 1.3, 1.4%. Don't start throttling me now, Internet. Now, the good news is, I don't know if it's good news, but it seems to be sporadic and sometimes will pass. So if it gets bad, we might just have to, I don't know what we'll do. We'll have to figure it out. It's starting to drop some frames right now. I see that. Jared Newton, good to see you, man. All right. Ground services. We're going to insta-load and get everything going here. So, weight and balance. And let's load aircraft instantly. Dismiss that. Let's go GSX and start the boarding process. They're going to start doing their thing. And we're going to set up VOR, constraint mode, terrain on ND for sure on this one. And with that set, we're going to pause it here on the overhead, and we're going to talk about our procedure for having a flight control, specifically the ELAC-1, Elevator Aileron Control Computer number 1, in op today. So this is a 7-page MEL. I'm going to read you, we're going to kind of skim through it here, and then it'll make a lot more sense when we actually go through the procedure of doing it. So, have you ever flown in a dusty cockpit? Yeah, dude. Pretty much every 319. I do want to board crew. I swear the internet better not poop out on me here, because I really want to do this stream. We'll see what happens. All right, so ELAC-1, Elevator Aileron Computers. there's a lot of things here with this MEL. We have an operational restriction, which means that we have to have, there's something that happens basically operationally every leg that you have to be cautious for. There is a recurring action requirement that is by maintenance and flight crew. So every leg there is a recurring action that needs to be done by both the mechanics and the flight crew. There's also a secondary MEL that needs to be applied, which is 2299011, that's just a downgrade MEL. So you're now Cat 1 only. You're no longer Cat 3 or Cat 2, you're Cat 1. So that's a separate MEL. And then there is a dispatch concurrence portion to this MEL as well, which we won't get into for the sake of streaming. Now, there are 2 installed on the aircraft. We have ELAC 1 and ELAC 2. Only one is required to operate safely. So let's go ahead and read through this. Except for ER operations or ETOPS, ELAC 1 or any ELAC 1 function may be inoperative provided both accelerometers associated with ELAC 2 operate normally, all side stick transducers associated with ELAC 2 and the 3 spoiler elevator computers operate normally, or 3 SEC computers. We're going to test that. ELAC 2, SECs, ADIRs, SFCCs, LGCIUs, FACs, and RAs operate normally. Transformer rectifier 1 and 2, TR1, TR2 operate normally. DC tie contactor, verified closed before each departure. All roll spoilers must operate normally, which we're going to test. Elevators and roll spoilers control through the SCCs is verified, operative before each flight. So we're going to basically hijack the flight control computers to make sure each one of them will cross control the controls they're supposed to control, if that makes sense. Approach minimums are downgraded to Cat 1. Above flight level 200, the use of speed brake is limited to half position without mod 3317. So basically it doesn't apply. Even with autopilot off, you only have half speed brake. All right. What does all that mumbo jumbo mean? That basically means because one of our primary flight control computers is not working, we are going to be required to pressurize the hydraulics at the gate, and we're going to have to test the flight controls and the redundancies for the other computers. So we're going to shut some computers off, we're going to check some flight controls, then we're going to turn off the other flight control computers, and then check some more flight controls. We're basically checking the redundancy of the remaining operative flight control computers. How do we do that at the gate? We're going to have to pressurize some systems that are normally not pressurized at the gate, such as the yellow hydraulics. So that's pretty simple. We do this when we single engine taxi all the time, is we're going to use the yellow electric pump. Another system that we need to pressurize, if I come down here to the flight control computers, is we're going to need to pressurize the blue system. How do you guys think we're going to pressurize the blue hydraulics on the ground? How do we pressurize the blue hydraulics? Anybody have an idea? A DFW spotter has become a private pilot member. Thank you so much for joining the channel, DFW spotter. Welcome back to Private Pilot. Glad to have you on board, man. Glad to have you on board. Fubar says, are there any aircraft in your fleet that, while totally safe, seem to be prone to anything's breaking regularly, and you've grown when you see that? Yes, anything that's a 319, Fubar. Any 319 is not typically fully functional. All right, yes. Blue override way up here, which this is typically the maintenance panel, but we are going to pressurize the blue pump on the ground via the hydraulic maintenance panel up here on the overhead. So now that we know where those switches are, let's finish up a couple other things here. Let's set our top altitude of 370. What are we in, meters or something? What's going on? Oh, there we go. 370. 37 is set. I'm going to recycle my flight directors. 1, 2. We'll come down here. Init 0 fuel weight and CG. We are 130.1 and 30.0. That is set. Fuel on board, we have 16.2, which is on board and balanced. So we'll go ahead and put 16.2 in the block fuel. That looks good. We'll get our fuel tank pumps on. And we'll turn the seatbelt sign on. And with that done, we'll go ahead and get the APU ready to fire up. Smurf power. Extend the rat and tell the FO to start hand cranking. That's interesting. I don't know how fast you'd have to turn it. Probably not fast enough to get it to turn. All right, let's go ahead and fire it up. Take a listen outside. I don't know why my internet's being so weak right now. It's driving me nuts. Let me, I'm going to run a test here real quick. You guys enjoy the spool up sounds. We'll see what happens. So I got to run a test. Hold on. Alright, so right now it seems like it's stabilizing. Hopefully the internet will be alright. Hopefully it'll be alright. I say that, and then it continues to drop. The day Fenix releases a 321 model, my life will be complete. Well, I have a stark feeling you may be seeing another 321 before that one comes out, if it does or not. Trying to find a good view where we can sit and watch. What is the best payware? X-Plane 11? Playing on FPS. Man, I don't know. Best frame FPS payware on X-Plane 11? Maybe some GA aircraft? I know as far as airliners are concerned, the Tolis 319 is pretty good. With blue. So there, those that said the engine driven, yeah, we could. There is an exception if the APU is inoperative. We can basically start engines at the gate and run flight controls at the gate, but we don't need to do that because we have an operative APU today, or I'm sorry, and an operative yellow. Zebo wasn't bad either. Yeah. Yeah, Aviation Blaze, I prefer a Fenix 319. I just feel like Fenix, with how they modeled this 320, I feel like they would be the perfect candidate for a 319. The cockpit of this 320 reminds me of a 319 cockpit anyway. Alright, we are boarded up. We'll start the chrono for that. And yeah, we're still... I guess we can do a takeoff data scenario here. Let's do a departure brief. Let's get this out of the way. Air 4 Labs King, our 350 has been out since 4/13. Swarm, that's on X-Plane 12, huh? All right, 5 right dry. We'll sync the final load sheet, sync live weather. We'll calculate this with Toga, yes. Packs on. Yeah. Or you know what? Let's do Toga packs off. We'll do Toga packs off. 25, 35, 35, flap 2. $25, 35, 35, flap 2 set. No flex. We'll set up for a packs off takeoff. We'll see how it happens. How am I able to contact you? I mean, social media, email, etc. There is multiple ways you can contact me through either the Discord or if it's a business inquiry, there is an email associated with my YouTube channel. Those are multiple ways you can contact me. Alright, we are set up 30-30. We'll wait for the passengers to finish. Gosh, listen to that APU. Oh, look, we got a couple of... Are those real players back there? Got an Aero Mexico 737 back there. Man, they boarded up those bags pretty quick. I want the nice, clean, new 321neo. Well, on X-Plane, that's there. You can have the Tolis one. Can we do APU in-op flight? We've done that multiple times. But we'll do it again. We're going to be getting ready for recurrent training here, so we're going to be doing some more in-op stuff here pretty soon. Tiger Dude, I use Steam for X-Plane. I use the Microsoft Store for this, for MSFS. I kind of wish I used Steam. For Microsoft Flight Sim. If I end up getting a new PC or upgrading, I will probably go the Steam route if I can. Bag loading in the Fenix is very quick. Yeah, it was very, very quick. That was you and Shaq loading the bags. Yeah, you guys knocked it out, man. The thing with, so flying in the continental 48 states, the U.S., it's amazing how long it takes some airports to load bags. You go down to Mexico, and it's a different... And I think it may also be part of, like, the airline might have something to do with it too, but it's pretty much all over South America, whether it's Mexico, Colombia. An airport job in the South, to me, appears to be a much more prestigious position than you get in the U.S. Because when we go down to either Mexico, Colombia, anywhere down there, Peru, it is, you roll up to the gate, there's 12, 15 people standing out there. You're never waiting on marshalers. You're never waiting on ground crew. Everybody's got a clipboard, and they're all writing down things. You got a mechanic that meets the airplane every single time. Fuel is immediately loaded when the plane rolls into the gate. Mechanic comes up, asks to speak to the captain, make sure there's no new write-ups. This is everywhere we go, all over the South. In the U.S., you'd be sitting there like, okay, been here 40 minutes. I still don't have a wing walker to marshal us in. So... when you go down south, man, they are very, very efficient, and I think it has to do with the prestige of being an airport employee. I don't know, maybe some of y'all who are watching the stream in the chat, maybe you got any insight on that. It just feels like they're part of a job that they're proud to be on. Yeah, Caleb, they're definitely more. Yeah, they have pride in their job. Exactly. All right, that's about 3 minutes. Let's go APU bleed on. We'll go external power off, and that should fire up the packs. I tried installing Microsoft on my computers via Steam. Unfortunately, it took so long to load, so I just canceled and got a refund. Oh no! Oh, use a gaming laptop. Tiger dude. Microsoft on a gaming laptop, unless you really have a hardcore laptop, may not be the best experience. But as far as downloading the sim, it took me 3 days. Because I was I'm trying to think. Yeah, I was at I only had like 50 down at the time. And it took up almost 3 days for Microsoft Flight Simulator to install. So... you need multiple days if you're going to go down the Microsoft Flight Sim setup. XP72 says, XP72, good to see you, my man. There you are. What's going on, man? Good to see you. Same in the Caribbean. Pilots are treated like gods. Yeah, XP, you're right, man. Jamaica, anywhere down there. Where was I just at? I was down in San Juan. Yeah, same thing, man. Same thing. It is there's a whole different mentality down there for the workforces around the airport environment than you get in the U.S. Other than maybe Southwest, because Southwest, they're pretty hardcore with their 30-minute turn, and they're on it. DJ Thomas with the $20 super chat. DJ Thomas, thank you so much, man. Very, very kind of you. Says, howdy everyone. I'm usually a Phantom Watcher. Wow, you're a Phantom Watcher, and you already got your V1 bars up there, but I'm glad I'm able to catch a live one today. Thanks for everything you do. I hope Georgia is treating you and your family well. DJ Thomas, I appreciate you, man. Really appreciate that super chat. I'm glad you're enjoying the content. Georgia's treating us well so far, man. So far, so good. So everything's good. Appreciate you. Shaq Oatmeal, the star-studded ramper himself, is in the chat. Mr. Shaq Oatmeal, my man. Good to see you. A ramper down there takes way more pride than anyone in the U.S. 99% do it for the benefits. Most can make more working at Starbucks. Yeah, that's boom, Shaq. And that's kind of what I assumed, but I never, I don't have any firsthand experience for that as far as in the U.S. working for an airline or a ramp crew. That's kind of what I assumed, but yeah, man, that makes total sense. Now, there are some crews, don't get me wrong, there are some crews in the States that take pride, and typically it's the smaller airports. Like, so when I fly into Pensacola, Florida, those guys are rock stars. Any small, like the smaller airports, they typically tend to be take more pride in their jobs. Not all of them, but some. But you go to like some of the big international hubs, and man, it's a coin toss of whether your crew is going to be there or not when you roll up to the gate. It really is. So, but Shaq Oatmeal, good to see you, man. I hope you're well. I hope flight training is good. I hope you're still training. Good to go. All right, we are boarded up. Tray table in up. Oh, man. All right. There we go. Here we go. Got dinosaurs that work only for the benefits. They usually don't care. Yep, I could see that too, Christopher. Yeah, for the benefits, and then they don't care about anything else. I tell you what, though, from a pilot's perspective, it makes a huge difference when, even if it's just one or two guys that's in the ramp crew that are try, you know, because whether they run up with a slip or they tell me this or they got to do this, and you can tell the guys that are, maybe it's not even having pride on a job, but just have a good work ethic. Like finding people, and I think this stems across, we're getting way off topic here, Jesus, but I think this stems across a lot of jobs in the U.S. right now, is people, just the work ethic that I am used to growing up with and around and seeing my parents work, my grandparents work, the people around me work, and that I like to think that I have as well. It seems like that is kind of slipping downhill, but we're getting way off topic here. Let's get back to this. Jeez. All right, we haven't even left the gate yet. All right, here's our shebang. We did that. Good deal. We got a lot to do here at the gate, so I'm not too worried about that. We are boarded up, ready to go. So we're going to walk through this just like I did in real life. Ooh, Mexico City Tower is online? Spicy. I hope the dude has a Mexican accent for the immersion. 2765 is ATIS 1855 is online. I will call him as soon as we finish our MEL, because this is how we did it at the gate, and we're going to walk through this together, and you're going to see some serious system redundancy going on here. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to prepare for pushback yet, because I don't want them sitting there asking me to release the brake. But typically in real life, what we did is we closed the door and we said, all right, door's closed. And then I got on the crew. I said, cockpit to ground, hey, are you guys clear down there? I'm going to turn on the beacon light. We're going to be pressurizing the systems, and we're going to do some flight control checks. So just remain clear of the aircraft. Like, all right, copy that, Captain. You're good to do whatever you need to do. All right, so let's dig into this. This is our procedure. And mind you, I had to do this for 4 legs. Okay, so the MEL states, first we have to determine what type of failure we have, which we have the ELAC 1 fault, DC tie contactor closed. If the yellow electric pump is not available, that does not apply. So it is applied. If we have the flight control ELAC fault displayed, which we do not have it displayed, we don't have to pull any circuit breakers. So, skipping over to the actual procedure, check of the elevator and roll spoilers control through SECs. Clear ground personnel, they are cleared, beacon is on, yellow electric pump is on. Note, if the yellow electric pump is not available, does not apply. PTU, auto, it is. Blue electric pump, auto, it is. Blue pump override, on. So we're going to come up top, and we're going to go blue pump override, on. ELAC 2 is on, SEC 1, 2, and 3 are all on. After 5 seconds, do the following checks. Check of the elevator control through SEC1 and spoiler control through SEC1 and SEC3. So we're going to go over here. Hydraulics, we are pressurized. Flight controls. Elevator, full up, full down. Blue pump override, off. Blue pump override, off. Wait for hydraulic circuit depressurization. Check the hydraulics. Blue has been depressurized. ELAC 2 off. SEC 2 off. Blue pump override on. So I did that backwards. Blue pump override back on now. And now we're going to turn ELAC 2 off and SEC 2 off. Go back to the flight control page. So we basically eliminated ELAC. Move the captain side stick from right stop to left stop, then forward stop to aft stop. On the flight control SD page, check the correct movement of pairs of spoilers 2, 3, 4, and full travel of both elevators. So, right stop, when we're looking for speed brakes, no ailerons. Left stop, we got 3 roll spoilers. Now, full elevator control. We still have full elevator control? Confirm. Basically, we're checking here if the thing goes kapoots and we have no ailerons, can we still control via our roll spoilers? That's essentially what we're checking here. We have checked that, verified. Okay, Move the FO side stick, basically the same thing. We're going to skip that. Caution, if expected spoiler or elevator movement does not occur, do not attempt any reset contact maintenance. That does not apply yet. Okay, so now we need to check the elevator control through Sec 2 and then the spoiler control through Sec 2 and Sec 3. ELAC 2 on. Wait for the fault light to disappear. Sec 2 on. Wait 5 seconds. Yellow electric pump off. Wait for hydraulic pressurization to depressurize. We are depressurizing. On the flight control page, check that the yellow and green elevator actuator systems become amber. Flight control page. Yellow and green are all amber. You guys see that? That means they're depressurized. That is normal. After 5 seconds, the yellow electric pump back on. Yeah, I bought my FO a couple beers on this trip after this. Because the FO is basically running this. Yellow electric pump on. ELAC 2 off. And now Sec 1 off. All right. With those flight control computers off, same thing. Move captain side stick from right stop. Now we're looking for 2 and 4. Left stop. 2 and 4. Oh, I'm sorry, pairs 2 and 5, sorry. And full travel of elevators. So if we were to lose the other SEC computer, Sec 1, we still have roll spoilers here. So we could still control the airplane even though we have no aileron control. We have 2 separate ways to control the ailerons now, even with this MEL. And of course, we still have full elevator travel indicated there. FO would do the same flight control checks. Same caution, if there's an expected spoiler or elevator movement that does not occur, do not attempt a reset. Okay, continuing on. To return to normal configuration, yellow electric pump, off. Blue pump override, off. ELAC 1 is off because it's MEL. ELAC 2, back on. Oops, wrong one. Shoot. And then Sec 1, back on.
Because that's what it's all about. The longer you keep us at the gate, the more tea and vodka and I drink. Didn't hear, but did you get in on the mini FC
Seat 2A, thank you so much, man, for the $3 bank angle check right back at you. Yes, this is a long procedure at the gate, and I will tell you guys, as a side note, when we were doing this in real life, the amount of vibration that would happen when we were shutting off these flight control computers completely blew my mind. I had no idea, and I still am not completely sure why there's so much vibration and shaking of the airplane when we were switching these flight control computers. It's like there's actual serious mechanical stuff happening in the airplane below our feet in front of the flight control computer bay, and you can hear the vibration and the shakes. It was a little unsettling, to be honest with you, but it was normal. On the Mini FCU Kickstarter, I am promoting them for sure. We're doing a little collab with Mini FCU as well, so yes, hopefully you'll see that here on the channel very soon. Thank you so much, C2A, appreciate you. All right, our flight control computers are back on. Now we got to check that DC tie contactor 1 is closed. So now we bring up the electrical page. DC tie contactor appears to be closed. On the electrical SD page, we check the link between DC bus 1 and DC bat bus. So DC bus 1 and DC bat bus. We are linked up. We're good to go. If the flight control ELAC 1 pitch fault alert is displayed on the EWD, it is not. All right, so that is that, and then we do that, and essentially there was one other fault that you would basically run through the same thing again. So that, my friends, is our MEL for ELAC 1 inoperative. We've systematically went through, we've shut off the other SECs, we've shut off the other ELAC because we only have 2 ELACs, so we went ELAC-less, and we still verified movement of the flight controls with the redundancy, roll spoilers, and multiple configurations, and elevator in all configurations. So MEL has been completed. Now we can actually prepare for pushback and departure. So imagine doing that 4 times. I do not want to start. So 4 separate legs, doing that. Yeah, the FO was an absolute rock star. He was actually a very senior FO that I was paired with on this pairing, and it just made my life a lot easier because running through that, basically he's reading and doing, I'm verifying and watching the ECAM as well. So it was made for a very long day. All right, so when that's all done, we skip over there, downgrade to Cat 1. We already know that. So then we also have to make a maintenance write-up in the logbook that we've completed that, and maintenance has to do their thing as well. For aircraft with R&P AR capabilities, R&P AR is not permitted either. So we are basically downgraded all the way to Cat 1, old school, no R&P, none of that nonsense. So I hope you guys enjoyed all that work. I'm already starting to sweat here, and we haven't even pushed off the gate. All right, here we go. We want to go nose left, tail right, I think, I hope. Yep. All right, let's go ahead and dismiss all the Fenix scenarios, and then Mexico Tower's online, so that's cool. We'll call them after pushback. Ground services. Yeah. Chocks and cones, clear to pool. Oh, I like the accent on this chick. Adds to the immersion. All right. Aaron Harrison says, whoa, any chance you can find out for us what causes the vibration? Really interesting. Aaron, my only assumption is there's got to be some mechanical latching that's going on when you're changing the flight control computers around. And then, of course, moving the flight control surfaces with the hydraulics pressurized without the engines on, you hear a lot more than you typically would. So that would be my assumption. Maybe someone watches this replay on watches this stream on replay, a mechanic, and they can tell me what would cause the vibrations and shakes. But I'm telling you, is when you switch those flight control computers around, it was like boom, 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 clunk, clunk. And then you would do our checks, and you would hear the hydraulics kind of straining, like a little bit of ASMR sounds for you. But yeah, that's how it was very eye-opening. Not to mention the airplane that we were on. So it had that MEL. It also had an MEL for the push-to-talk. Also had an MEL for an IDG, I believe. So we had to do our electrical IDG procedure. What else was there? There was like 2 other things that we had to do. So it made for a very, very long day. We started out on time, ended up about 3.5 hours late. And what also makes that take longer is that's just the pilot procedure. Before we can even do those checks, maintenance has to come on, and they actually get into the avionics bay, and they do something down there. I'm not sure what they were doing, but they have to do some checks in the avionics bay. Then they also come up to the cockpit and proceed to do additional checks in the cockpit, and then they make a write-up in the logbook. Once I see that it's been signed off, brakes are set, clear, disconnect, then we could proceed with our checks. So, do you find a lot of NES with removed DLACs in your airline? No. But I find a lot of NEF. Oh, NFFs? NFFs. What are NFFs? Man, if you'd streamed this a few hours ago, I'd have asked the mechanic that question while he was fixing the air vent and cruise. Caleb, yeah, you should have. All right, let's do an engine start here, and then we got to call tower on 1855. Actually, let's call them up before we start, because we don't know. Oh, dude, this guy is straight up out of Mexico City. I love it. I love the immersion.
Runway 05 left, walk 3207.
I gotta close the blower so I can hear him a little bit better. Oh, no fault found? Jake, no, I can't say I have.
Yeah, squawk 3207. 3207.
Beep, beep.
Mexico 1049. Readback is correct. Call 1, ready for pushing start.
Alright, here we go.
México Torre, Aeroméxico 515, estamos listos para rodar, pista 5 derecha.
Alright, we gotta call him up with information Alpha.
Ruede vía plataforma, Lima, Bravo 3 y manténgate pista 05 derecha. Rodamos vía plataforma Lima, Bravo 3 y mantenemos antes pista 5 derecha, Aeroméxico 515.
What do we say? Mexico City Tower? Is that what it's called? I feel like... Or is it Benito Tower? It's been a minute. Is it Mexico City? No, it's got to be, let's see, ground charts. I'll just call him Tower. Tower, good morning. Viva 357 with information Alpha, IFR clearance to Guatemala. Oh. I need to actually bind my thing. Hold on one sec, guys. Push to talk. Uh-oh. Why is that not registering? That's interesting.
Air Mexico 1049, pushing start approved. Call when ready for taxi, runway 05 left.
Runway 05 left, we'll call when ready.
It's not picking up my button press. Hold on. I want to see if it's picking up input in the sim. What's going on with that? Yeah, it's picking it up in the sim. There we go. Alright. Now we're good. PTT trigger in off? Dude, that's so funny. That's how it was. Yeah, I'd have to pick up the hand mic now. Alright. Where are we at? Let me get my clearance up so I can see it. Tower, good afternoon. Viva 357, information Alpha. Pick up IFR clearance to Guatemala.
Traffic crew, call say again, please.
So, Viva 357.
Oh, okay, it's Aeroenlaces 357.
Aerolances? Aerolances 357, IFR to Guatemala with Alpha.
Aeroenlaces 357, standby.
I swear I hear him saying Viva. Maybe, is that Colombia? Is Viva in Colombia? Because I swear I feel like I've heard him say Viva on the radio. Aerolances. Aerolasis. Aerolasis? Aerolasis.
Aeroenlaces 357, ready to copy?
Ready to copy, Aerolasis 357.
Aeroenlaces 357, you're clear to Guatemala via Tebos, Upper Tango 113, India Zulu Tango, Dennis 5. Climb via Tebos to Alpha to flight level 370 final, runway 05 right, and squawk 3216.
Clear to Guatemala via the Tevos 2 Alpha departure. Upper Tango 113. 370 is final. Expect 05 right, squawking 3216 for Aerolances 357.
Aerolances 357, readback is correct. Call when ready for pushing start.
I will call you back. Aerolances 357. Viva was in Colombia. Viva Colombia defunct now. Oh, yeah, well, I can't be saying that. All right, so we already pushed, but we'll call him for start clearance. We are 3216 on the squawk. 321.
Aero Mexico 515, pista 05 derecha.
Boom, that is set.
QNH 30.26.
So that is our clearance. That's basically what we have in the box, so we're good to go. So we pushed off gate 61, request start. Damn. That guy's just showing off now. Alright, so let's go back to the... are we sitting at a spot? Let me just double check. Aerolances? Aerolances. I think I'm saying that right. At Tower Aerolances 357. We just pushed off gate 61. Request start clearance.
Aerolances 357, pushing start approved. Call when ready to taxi. Runway 05 right.
05 right, we'll call you ready to taxi, Aerolances 357. All right, here we go. Bleed is on, ready to go. Are you guys ready? We're going to do it the Mexico way. We'll start number 2 first, too. Make everybody happy. Turn 2. It's like the guy who kept calling himself Pan Am 711 and wasn't listening to Clipper 711. That's funny. Pan Am 711. Maze, good to see you, man. Pretty sad when Alpaca Airways is known more widely than Aerolasis. What is it? Aerolasis. Did you guys catch that aileron over there? Power up.
Air Mexico 1049, we're ready for taxi.
Go ahead and start engine 1.
Air Mexico 1049, taxi.
Have you
via
checked
Bravo,
out ferry pilots over
runway
nomadic
055.
aviation?
We'll taxi via Bravo.
Nigel,
and
please tell me
we'll-
you're just trolling because I was just talking about this earlier when the stream started. Yes, I somehow one of y'all must watch it because it ended up in my news feed and I was trying to get some sleep on a very short overnight and I stumbled across their channel and I watched like 3 hours of repo footage or ferry footage. Aero enlaces. That doesn't. What? Aerolasis. Airlink. Oh man, I need to get a new chair, guys. My tailbone is hurting. All right, we got 2 good starts. We'll go here. Oh, I left the extract on because I was on the phone with the tower. Let's go flaps 2. Jeremy, yes, it's on the wish lists. Nigel, you just came in, nice. Yeah, no, for sure. I've stumbled upon them recently, and I love them. I think they got a great channel. All right, APU's coming off. We'll do it the Aero Mexico way or the Mexico way with the packs when we get to the radar or runway. That's closed. ELAC 1 fault. That's associated. Clear. Status is normal. And are you guys ready? Let's do a quick flight control check here at the gate just because of all of our stuff. Boom. We'll go ahead and do rudder as well. Full left, full right, neutral, 0.1 up on the trim. Guys, tillers are also available. Exclamation point tiller. Use code V1 for 20% off as well. All right, we are set. That is good to go. We'll go auto brakes. I'll tell you what, we'll just do it all here because we're going to be taxiing out and boom. I'm going to put this in TARA because the Fenix doesn't do it properly. The fly-by-wire actually does here. So we got to have this on for them to see squawk altitude on the ground. All right. We're finally ready to go. Man, that took us a long time to get off the gate. What time is it? 3:54. Jeez. Almost an hour to get off the gate with that MEL. See how you do that 4 times, you'll be late. Tower Aerolasis 357, ready taxi.
Aerolasis 357, taxi via platform Lima Bravo 3, hold short runway 05 right.
Taxi via platform Lima Bravo 305 right, hold short, Aerolasis 357. All right, taxi via the platform here, Lima Bravo 3. Lima Bravo 3, hold short,
49. Do you want to continue
05
down all
right.
the way to the-
There's my shorthand. Let's go. You guys ready? Taxi lights
Air
on,
Mexico 1049,
brakes are
yes,
off.
the procedure, you must continue via
I feel bad for the
Bravo,
guy at the gate I'm
hold short
blocking.
runway 05
Sorry,
right.
dude. Let's roll.
Tower launcher route to Yamena, request push and start.
RC Flyer, good to see you, man.
The aircraft call again, please.
I feel like I won the laundry when I get to
Laundry
catch you
route
live
to
these
190.
days. Good luck with Aerolasis. It's a mouthful,
Okay,
but a
number
cool
0219,
airline.
can you
Aerolasis,
set your-
appreciate you, RC Flyer. Thanks for the support, man. Yeah, I wasn't even 100% sure I was going to stream today. And then I decided to around 11 o'clock this morning. So thank you all for tuning in. Dealing with some broken airplanes today. All right, so left on Lima, right on Bravo 3. So we'll come out here. Hazy up here. What's going on with that? Oh, Wrong side. I'll check it out, my man. I'll check it out. Actually, where is my phone? Oh, it's back here. Oh, yeah. You did text me. I'll check it out here in a minute, dude. All right, Alpha 4. So left on Lima. Would you brief the passengers about the MEL procedures and delays? Joe Plain, so what I did say is I said, hey, you can expect that we're going to be sitting here at the gate and you're going to feel some vibrations. I said this after we did it the first time. I said, you can expect to feel some vibrations and you'll see the flight controls moving, but that's all normal. It's just part of our maintenance procedure. So, yeah, I did inform them because it was that significant, which was a surprise to me. But yeah, once the doors closed and everything, people expect to go. But we sat there for 3, 4, 5 minutes. All right, Bravo 3, holding short of 05 right. Straight up smog and pollen. Well, it's cool that at least Microsoft's picking up on it. Default weather. Yeah, I need more ground. We need a ground friction adjustment. Well, we are high altitude, so you would need a little bit more thrust, but I wonder if they're going to adjust that at all with a V2 of the Fenix. What is our gross weight? 147. We are a little bit. I mean, we're not super light, but we're not very heavy either. So technically we'd have to have a takeoff shift here at Bravo 3. But since we're doing a Toga packs off anyway, it won't apply. Not pollen, pollution. Oh yeah, smog and pollution. There you go.
Left is 357. Line up and wait.
Line up and wait. 305 right. Airline says 357. All right, that's on. Everything is on. Line up and wait. Packs are coming off. Line up and waiting for the Toga. Ooh, 319 watching. 126. We need 200 likes before we get cleared for takeoff, or else we're going to just go into a flex, which we might go off the end of the runway if we have to do that. Smash down that like button so we can do a Toga packs off out of here. Line up and wait. Here we go. Wrong side already applying Class 2 maintenance meshes deferral, and the plane has only flown twice. Wow. The newer the plane, the bigger the POS. Oh, dude, don't tell me that. I was getting excited for new planes, man. Wrong side. Appreciate the support, man. Keeping you busy. All right, what are we at? Did we make it? 180, 181? Oh, man, you guys better hurry. If we get cleared for takeoff, we're going to go packs on, and I'll set a flex of like 50. Let's see. All y'all want to test me, we'll find out here. I'm going to stay right here. Let's do an engine view here. Oh, yeah. Maybe we're waiting for traffic off the parallel. Yeah, it looks like we are. That's cool. 196. If he keys that mic, we're going to go flex. Oh, 202. Oh, you guys are awesome. Thank you for the support, y'all. You guys are absolutely awesome. All right, we're set up. We got 200 likes. You guys are awesome. Thank you for that. There goes that 7-3. I feel like we should have done some Aeromexico PMDG ops. Oh, you guys don't need to see that, do you? Okay. Put that over there. All right, climbing right-hand turn at or above 9. Yeah, this is going to be a fun takeoff.
Tower launch is ready for taxi.
I normally don't do this, but I feel like I'm going to have a calf cramp, so I'm going to set the parking brake. Not a good day to do leg day. We're going to sit here and hold the brakes for 5 minutes.
Platform Lima, Bravo 3, hold.
Takes pilots like you to get these things broke in, I guess. I try not to break them when I fly. I'm wrong side, I swear. Why'd I had something this weekend that was like, I'm trying to remember exactly what the MEO was, but it was actually the wrong MEO was applied, and we changed it. But I was like, I told the mechanic, I'm like, look, man, this is what this says, and this is not what we have. And he's like, oh, let me go look at that. And 10 minutes later, comes like, yeah, you're right. Oh, we're going to change it. We're going to do this. I'm like, all right, cool. How long has it been flying that way? Is the payware MMX Osk Boy? I mean, you're looking at it. It's better than default. We still got purple Volaris buses we could fly. I was very close to doing the fly-by-wire Neo Volaris. We might do that. Look, plane still broke, AJ. Man, are we going to just sit here all day? It's our min takeoff fuel.
Turn left at 357 and work to the 5 right. Connect to 4 wind 1 to 5 take off, contact sorry monitor 1 to
05 right, clear for takeoff. Monitor 22.8 on departure. Thanks for the ATC. Airlines is 357. Are you guys ready? Brakes released. Spool them up 50. Nose forward on the stick. Toga packs off at 7,000 feet, coming at you right meow. Man, Toga SRS runway auto thrust blue. Why is my view like offset? I feel like it's offset for some reason. Look at that acceleration. And that's Toga packs off. 80 knots, thrust set. 100 knots, check. V1. Rotate. Nice and easy. Positive, right? Gear up. Navin. Real easy on the controls at this altitude. And we're 7,600 feet. We just took off, and that is wild, huh? Look at that juice. Yeah, my view should be over here. What's up with that? I'm going to recenter it. Hold on. Lever climb. We're going to hang tight on that real quick. Let's do this. Oh, yeah. Love that thrust reduction. Pack 1 coming on. Fly with. Gears got destroyed. Sorry about that. We don't want to miss the turn, though. Oh. Thrust, climb, climb. Nav. There's F speed. We'll go ahead and go flaps 1. The left side, you can see what could have been an airport. Oh, wow. Is that where it was going to be? We got to turn up here. We got to fly this departure. Look at the acceleration. There's 10,000. We're at a 10, but of course that's MSL, not AGL. So we're going to hang tight on our lights and our 10,000 foot checks. All right, it's been about 15 seconds. That's pack 2. And come on. Wow. A flex definitely would have been a little bit spicy. Here's our turn. Flap 0. Gosh, that looks good. We'll go ahead and monitor 22.8 now since we're on to departure. Oh, that's a tight right turn. We should be, we actually probably should be RNAVing this up with the autopilot. All right, next fix is MX839 out of below 18.5. Gosh. I mean, you're just like, I'm so used to just, you know, oh, we're screaming out, but no, we're 30 knots here still. At least we're getting nice climb rates now. Some chop coming out of here this morning. Pretty typical this time of year. So, Bradley, I'm not sure what you're seeing there with the sim frame drop. So, I'm not showing any frame drop on my end. But what's interesting is when I'm in the Fenix now, my YouTube does throw a keyframe frequency error, which it didn't throw that error when I was flying the 310 yesterday. So I'm kind of wondering what's going on with that. But hopefully it's not too bad. Just kind of using gentle touches here as we hand fly her out. The left side, there's two iconic volcanoes. Let's take a look. Actually, you know what? It's too good to tell you what. We're gonna do that, and we're gonna do that because yeah, we need to see what we're flying, what we're flying around out here. This is a beautiful departure. I think they were just out in front of us, weren't they? Right here. Look at that. Look at those volcanoes. Look at that view. Air pollution must be brutal at that elevation for people living in Mexico City. Yeah. Wow, look at that. You guys look at that. I gotta look at the new airplane wrong side sim is getting. Dang, dude, that's sweet. Wow. Look at the, I mean, the dense population all in one little area. Isn't that crazy? We're going to have to come back to Mexico City. We're going to have to come back when we got IAEs because we need some IAE engines on this puppy. Should the engine buzzsaw noise go away once you climb to flight levels? I noticed it phased in PMDG, but not the Fenix. It won't be the same as it is on the ground. I haven't actually listened to it throughout the whole flight to see if it changes. But as you get into the higher flight levels, the sound, the pitch of the engine is going to change a little bit, yes. And you're also going to get a lot more wind noise too as we accelerate. So that's about 10,000. Yep, there's 18. We'll go ahead and set standard. We'll get our lights off. That's going to be our barrel ref check. Rip. Go ahead and pull standards. STDs for you, me, and the jump seater. 1013 down here on the standby. We're accelerating to 340. So now you're really going to hear it. Wow, look at that. Oh, wait. Oh, sorry. Look at that. Screenshot. We got to do more Mexico City flying. I want to come in here at sunset. Look at that view, guys. I'm going to have to come back when the internet is really cranking, and I'm going to rip up the bit rate, and we're going to come in at sunset. We'll do a turn. We'll fly in, and we're going to depart out. We need... Who flies? Maybe we'll do... you know what? Maybe we should take the fly-by-wire on a sunset ops into Mexico City in a Volaris. We could do a Volaris fly-by-wire Neo. Should we do a sunset departure or arrival? I mean... That view right there, and this is 12 noon, and I always say 12 noon in the sim is like the least enjoyable eye candy time to fly. but it is literally, well, it's not quite 12 noon, but it's what, 3 o'clock down here? So mid-afternoon, and it's still just cranking out. And what you're looking at is completely default Microsoft Flight Simulator. That just blows my mind. A Mexico mini tour before the Aussie tour. You know, I need a list of Mexican airplanes that we have, or at least available in the sim, because I don't know what we have. I mean, other than the 737, which Aero Mexico flies, we got the Viva Aerobus, which isn't technically proper because they have IAEs. So we could look at the fly-by-wire, which I think who operates? I think is it the Volaris has 320 Neos, right? So we could do fly-by-wire Volaris. I don't think there were any BAE 146s in Mexico. So we can't really do anything there. There is a sweet Aviasca livery, though, on one of the 146s, which would be fun. I have a little soft spot in my heart for the Aviasca 737-200 because I see them all the time in Cancun. At least I used to. They used to always be parked out there on the ramp, and I was like, man, imagine flying one of those suckers, sitting out there just sweating on the ramp. Just looked like an old beat-up airplane. Syntac, thank you for the $10 super chat, man. Appreciate the support. You got the V1 wings there. Love seeing you back in the V1 HQ. Would be great to see you review the new Microsoft avionics update for the 7.8 and 747. Syntac, appreciate the $10 super chat, man. You know, you're not the first person to ask that. I'm going to have to take a look into them. I'm not really into jumping on the betas, though. So I know they're in the beta, right? I have to, like, commit to the beta. I know it's fine. It seems to be pretty stable. Maybe. It'd be cool to do a 7.4 in here. But the last time that I remember flying a 747, it was the PMDG 747. So I feel like if I fly anything... Oh, no, that's not true. It was the Felis. That's not true. It was the Felis, which is also pretty darn good. I have such high expectations and hopes for my 747s, the Queen. But I might have to take a look into it. Syntac. Maybe we could do a cargo op down into here, because what is that? Microsoft has the Dash 8, right? Aero Mexico used to fly we could do the Mad Dog. Tyson says ATR. Oh, we could do ATR ops, Mad Dog ops. Mexicana, when they were live for the 320. Do they have any? I don't think we don't have any Mexicana liveries, though. I looked. I don't think we have any. We have a Mexicana cabin, which is interesting, but I didn't see a Mexicana livery. I remember, Aviasca's not flown since 09. Wow. So yeah, I would see those airplanes sitting out there. I mean, they looked like they hadn't flown since 09, which would make sense. We do have a Mexicana livery, Steven? All right, well, you guys are getting me hyped up for a little mini Mexico tour before we see if we can get another 500 subs before we go to our new world tour location. There are Mexicana liveries. Don't remember if it's for the Fenix or fly-by-wire, though. Interesting, Tyson. Okay, I'll have to check again. I must have just blazed over it. But you guys remember, any of my FSX fans, you remember what was the mission in FSX as we make the turn out here on the departure below 29? We're looking good. There was a mission in FSX. Was it Mexico City, or it might have been Quito? I think it was Quito, Ecuador. It's like, hey, you have to fly this approach in the default 747. It's just pretty cool. But I remember specifically, I have a memorable flight, FSX, PMDG 747. It was either FSX or P3. I think it was FSX. 747. I did a Mexico City flight. Oh, I remember it specifically because after I landed, or like as I was landing and rolling out, FSX baggage cart goes across taxiway, and then the sim just paused. Airplane crashed, or like crash detected. Would you like to restart? And then I just alt F4'd, and I don't think I flew the PMDG 7.4 after that ever again. Benny, good to see you, man. Hello, V1. We're still waiting for a Canada tour. Ooh. Would be fun. Love to see Aeromar ATR 42 Mazatlan. My fam did that back in 21. Okay. The mini street taco tour. Okay, you guys are getting me fired up for this. What's my schedule like next week? Hold on. I gotta look at my schedule. We need, what is it? May? No, June. So I have I only have 3 days off after my next trip. Man, I'm working too much. I need to drop one of these trips. Maybe I can drop this double Houston. Oh, San Salvador? Flying down to San Salvador? All right. Next week, I don't have as many days off as I want. Next couple weeks, we're going to set up a little Mexico tour. When I'm on this next trip, I'm going to look at options, and we'll do some ATR ops. We'll do a little MD-80 ops, and yeah, we'll do a little mini Mexico taco tour, a little taco tour, and we'll fire up the Jeremy Harvey South America tour music, because that one is perfect for it. Jeremy says, remember how horrible the default airplanes were in FSX? How can you forget, man? The 321 would stall. Yeah, that is true, Jeremy. That is true. What were the old airlines? It was World Travel, Orbit, Landmark. Do you guys remember Landmark? Speedbird. Speedbird is in chat. Flight Dispatch 320. Good to see you, man. We should start, oh, what did Shaq say? I gotta scroll up. We should start from San Diego and end at MROC, hit MHTG along the way. Ooh. I like where your head's at, Shaq Oatmeal. I like where your head's at, my man. I like it. We'll get some tacos in San Diego, head on down. End in MROC. It'd be perfect. Yeah, end in Costa Rica. Got a good plan there, Shaq. I like it. Can cheat a Magni Charter 734 with old school 738 config. What about 736? Do we have any good 736 liveries for Mexico? Because I could make that airplane feel... Okay, hold on. Do we have an Aviasca 736? I got to look this up. Stand by. I got to get on the flight sim TO while you guys look at the windows. Hopefully the airplane is doing good. PMDG liveries for the 736. .736 has been so neglected. The very first time I wrote you for was inspired by the main menu from FSX. Jeremy, I know. I don't forget, man. I picked it up too. I still have all those good countdown songs. All right. Ooh, we can use the HD wear and tear textures. And what can I do? Iceland Air, Transworld. 736 best variant. I agree with you, Jeff. I'm just going to do Aviasca search in all of Flight Sim TO. Nothing. Really? Really? I swear there was an Aviasca BAE 146. There's an add-on with FSTO. Make the 600 No, Shaq, don't. You serious? Shaq, you cannot be serious. I'm gonna look for this right now. Shaq says there's a mod in FSTO to make the 600 look like a 3 and 400. No. What is this mod, Shaq? Seventh. What do I look for? 400 mod. Shaq, send me a link in Discord or something. All right, 31.4 for 370. We're looking good. It's going to be a pretty scenic flight, and it's actually been very smooth here on the climb out. So we're going to get the seatbelt sign off as we're climbing up. Seatbelt sign is off. You're now free to move about the cabin. We still have our ELAC out. That's normal. And we're looking good. Climbing up to 370. Let's do a cockpit climb out view here. Did I spell Aviasca the right way? Probably not. Let me double check, Lauren. But now I want to look for that mod. AVIACSA. There we go. Yes, we have one for the PMDG 736. We have one for the 146. And the 100 too. Okay. We're doing a mini Mexico taco tour. And I'm going to go hardcore on this. So I'm going to eat nothing but Mexican food during the tour. We're going to spend the next 2 weeks after this flight. This flight doesn't count. This is a test run. But we're going to start in San Diego. We're going to go south. We're going to plan out a little route. We're going to fly the ATR 73, BAE 146, fly-by-wire, and I'm going to make street tacos, street corn. It's going to be good. Any news on Mini Cockpit? JSIC R. So the news for the Mini Cockpit, this Kickstarter is out and open. You'll see a link going through the chat. Matter of fact, I can call it up for you. If you are interested in backing, they've already reached, I think, $250,000. But, yes, I'm excited for Mini FCU. Now, as talking to some of the boys in the chat there in the Discord before the stream went live, there are some good points. You know, Kickstarters, you never 100% know what can happen because it's a Kickstarter. But for some reason, I feel like this one is going to be a real player. I think they're going to nail this one. I hope they do, because I know if they can produce the product that they say they have, that they can make, it's going to be a huge hit. Because I've said it before, I've said it multiple times, I say it again, being able to control your airplane on autopilot with the proper controls will it'll make it so much more intuitive. Because how many of you are like, oh, do I push pull? Oh, I meant to push it, or I meant to pull it, but I did that. I still do that in the sim, and I fly the thing for real. So having those intuitive controls up there at a real ease of use, it's going to be so much fun. So I'm really looking forward to it, and I really hope, I'm sure, I don't see why it wouldn't work, but I don't see why you couldn't get it to work with other airplanes as well, just as, like, you know, altitude and all that stuff. Now, it may not, I guess I could see where there could be some problems with that, but I am excited, and I really look forward to seeing the future development of it, because then maybe we'll start to get the mini FCU, building your own home little cockpit. Man, look at this, 800 feet a minute climbing up here. What's the outside air temp? Plus 12? ISA plus 12, so it is extra warm out here right now. So extra warm, a little hard on the climb performance, but we're looking good. This is normal. ELAC 1, Cat 3 dual. That's all normal. Fuel burn is looking good, 12.1. What is our estimated fuel on landing? 6.9. Good. Once we hit about the ETP point, we're really I'm going to break down the approach. Hopefully my iPad doesn't die, because I've got some real-world procedures that I'm going to go over. It's always good for me. I haven't been down to Guatemala in a very long time, but I've flown down there multiple times. I actually flew down there, almost had to divert because of volcanic ash cloud. So there's a lot of stipulations that come into flying into a place like Guatemala City. Also high density altitude, tight turn radius, and the approach has an arc radius to turn final. It could be spicy if you get behind the 8 ball. So we're going to brief that one well ahead of time. Well, yeah, you know what I mean. What is ISA? ISA is the standard temperature. So ISA is plus 0 or whatever. That is, the temperature is standard for the adiabatic lapse rate, cooling rate at that altitude. Once you, like, say it's warmer than a standard day, because a standard day is measured 15 C at sea level, 299 or 2 pressure, right? So 2 degrees per 1,000 feet, cooler every 1,000 feet. So at 1,000 feet, it should be 13 degrees. Then 11 degrees at 2,000, and so forth. So once you get cooler or warmer than that standard lapse rate, that's when you start looking at the ISA plus or ISA minus. 25C in cabin with passenger shoes off. What is our cabin? 25C? Oh wow, it is toasty. Let's go pack flow high. Let's crank it down. Thanks for saying something. So pack flow high, we should see the bleed open up. There they are. Look, they're going to high flow. That's normal. Typically, you're going to run pack flow button. Let's talk about the pack flow button here real quick. Something that we don't really touch on all that much. But all this does is it controls the amount of air volume from the pneumatic air cycle kits or the packs. Now, how does it work? you have to have a dual bleed system operational. So you have to have both engines running, or an engine running and the APU bleed on. Actually, no, that won't even work because I think it'll take a single bleed from there. That's a good one to test. We should check that on the ground. You have to have dual bleed. So think of it as if you have both engines running, then this switch will function just like it shows. You can go high flow, you can go normal flow, and then you can also reduce the flow to low. This will help with fuel economy and wear and tear on the packs. If you are a single bleed, so just the APU running at the gate, or maybe you're just single engine taxing, the pack that is operating will automatically default to high flow no matter what. So it does the switch. Even if you were to put it in low with one pack, it's still going to run in high. When you would use the switch is dependent upon passenger load. So depending on the configuration of the cabin, whether it's an all-economy configuration or first class and a business class or just whatever it is, there's going to be a number of seats or occupants on there that will trigger an item for you to use this flow. So either 138 for 319 for all eco, or 148 people or above for an all-economy class 320. Then it is recommended to put this into high flow. Below 148 or in cold temperature, you don't really need all that flow. You can drop that sucker into low, or keep it in normal, whatever you want. Sometimes what I do too, and I've kind of been messing with this a little bit more and more, is sometimes you put it in high flow, crank the cabin down, it gets nice and cool, you get up to altitude, and then it's cold, and like you just can't stop being cold. Sometimes what I do then is I just drop it into low, and that reduction in flow coming out of the air conditioning system actually makes it a little bit more enjoyable in the cabin than just having it blasting a lot of cold air. Go make some nice fish tacos next week with a homemade mango salsa and pico de gallo. Jeremy Harvey, I'm going to do it, man. You're making me hungry already. Jeez. I just can't get over these views out here. Look at that. All right, let me see. Shaq sent me a link. Got to drop for some meetings. Take it easy, Tyson. Let me pull out this link from Shaq Oatmeal here. If you crash the stream, we're all going to blame Shaq. Typically don't open Discord streaming for these reasons. How's the internet? Internet's kind of being shady. Oh my gosh. PMDG 737 Classic Wing Style. Textures for repaints too. Dude, Shaq. Just made my frickin' day, dude. I'll post a link for anybody who likes old school stuff like me. Check that out. Basically, it looks like a mod that's going to change the wing style to a 500. That's awesome. And then we can change the avionics on the PMDG and make it look old school. We're going to do that. We are going to do that. Repainters may use these textures to modify. All right, we need to get an Avioska or Avioska. We need them to make sure that is compatible, because that would be absolutely awesome. All right. Good deal, Shaq. Thanks for that, my man. Jamie, jeez. I haven't had lunch yet and still got leftover steak. Might have to make me some more of them tacos. Oh, yeah. A 321neo gets different because you can fit 30 extra people with new doors. Oh, wait. So in the 321neo, that actually is an Econ Flow push button. So, oh, I see what you're saying, because the doors. I get you. That's funny. So the Econ Flow push button on the 321 or the Neos, effectively it's the same thing, but except you can't turn it into high. You can either let it run normal, or you can put it in Econ Flow mode. So we've seen that on the Tolus. The Tolus runs that on X-Plane 12 and X-Plane 11. You can mess with that push button up there. But the older birds, this is kind of the OG, how it used to be. All right, it's probably nice and cold in here now. Let's go ahead and put you right about that position. Cabin check. It is, oh yeah, cooled down nicely. 19C, beautiful. We leveled off in cruise. Let's turn the sim down. Let's go take a look outside. Boop, ba-doo. Whoa, look at that. Yep. Findus, good to see you. Greetings from Germany. Welcome on board the stream, man. Glad to have you here. Hope you enjoy it, my friends. Germany is a long way away. Let me go here and here. I feel like we need some Mexican music for this, some salsa. You're freezing in your shorts now, Chaos. Can't make everybody happy. Look at that beautiful territory down there. Got to see if Boris can mod the flaps for that iconic wine. Caleb, yeah, that would be sweet. At least the shoes are back on. Yeah, everyone put their shoes back on. You guys ever see the passenger shaming shorts or on Facebook? They typically post pretty vulgar things about what passengers do on airplanes. All right, let me make sure I have enough battery charge. I'm just pulling out my actual Guatemala. Salsa is Spanish. What did I say? I don't know. Vodka, you always take your shoes off? Dude, you guys taking the shoes off. That's spicy. I never do. Those floors of those airplanes are so dirty. I've seen people go in. I've seen kids go into the lab with no shoes. That's pretty nasty. All right. Here we go. Guatemala. It's always good to review some of this stuff. MGGT. Airport briefing. What month are we in? So right now, June going into July. No, we're May going into June. Just now starting to pass the peak. Actually, no. June is the peak month for precip, according to this. High terrain, all areas around the airport. We're aware of that. I'm just trying to make sure there's nothing. I don't want to mess anything up here. There is a gotcha on the approach, which we're going to go over when we brief. When are you coming to the UK on vacation? Beers must be had. Hayden, hey man, when I do, I will let y'all know. Don't worry about it. I would love to, man, but don't worry. I will not forget. If I'm coming to the UK, I will make my presence known. Mariachi music, yes. Why is the flight deck always so much warmer than the cabin when I go up there? You guys seem to have the cockpit really toasty. Really? I always feel like it's extra cold. But probably, Jeremy, it's probably because it's like a fishbowl. So, I mean, there are times when the cockpit is 78. Like, I can't get it below 78 or 80 degrees Fahrenheit because the sun just beats in on those windows, especially at the gate. So at the gate with the APU on, the cabin can be nice and cool. But if the sun is just right, it warms up quick, man. It's a fishbowl up front. We have leg resting first. Shoes on or I'll force you to drink airline coffee. Oh, yeah. Let me see if I can find some mariachi music. Swing by Ireland on your way to the UK, man, or right next door. Oh, yeah, I will. Well, so my beer drinking has diminished quite a bit. Basically, every kid I have, I've seemed to drink less and less. I think that's just par for the course until they get older, and then I'm probably goes the other way. Probably drink more and more. But when I was drinking a lot of beer, my favorite go-to beer was actually Guinness. Now, I know the U.S. Guinness that we have is nothing like Irish and actual Guinness in Ireland, but I would love. It's one of those things I'd love to try because I do enjoy dark, heavy beers when I do drink beer. So, all right, let me see if I can find discover, search. What would I search for? Latin. Here we go. Let's much more fitting. I think beer consumption will go up when they end up teenagers. Yeah, Maze, that's what I'm thinking. Oh. I can't do lyrics. Just because I lose my train of thought. So we'll do no lyrics. We'll run the Latin genre. Oops, sorry. The Irish keep all the best Guinness for themselves. Ever tried Colombian beer? Noah? I can't say that I have, man. I'm hangry now. Yeah, after this stream, I'm firing up the, got a little special steak dinner tonight. I'm looking forward to it. Magner's Irish cider? Man, you guys are making me thirsty. Uh-oh, frames are tanking. Frames are tanking. Rip. Frames are tanking. AJ, I do have some of those. They're called Kinderfluff. I've got some of those, man. I saw a meme the other day. It's like the fact that there's still some pilots flying out there without Kinderfluff. The Kinderfluff shades on Amazon is a must-have in the pilot bag. You gotta have them. The Ireland V1 fan group, there are literally dozens of us. It would be cool, man. I would love, look, when the kids get a little bit older, vacations need to be had, and I would love to be able to hang out and meet some of y'all. I really was hoping I could get to the expo this year, and I'm still trying, but it just, unless I can find a trip that I can swap out of, it's pretty tight, because I got the worst scenario you can have for having a trip on a day that you want off is a trip that ends at, say, midnight that backs up into another trip, because then our system sees that as two trips on the same day. So to drop it, it makes it extra hard, because it's like, well, you're dropping two trips. And I'm like, no, I just want to drop one trip. But because it ends at midnight, it counts it as an extra day. And then if you're working that extra day, I don't know, it's kind of convoluted. But that happened to me over the expo, and I was hoping I'd at least be able to get out there on a Friday. But ironically, I'm not going to be too far from you guys. I'm going to be in San Antonio on an overnight, so I'll be a couple hours away. It sucks, though. A week prior to the expo, I have a double or triple Houston overnight. I'm like, really? Why couldn't I get that the week of the expo? How cool would that have been? Frames have tanked. Uh-oh. Yeah, I could see the frame drop 3.1%. Did I buy the FCU? Henrique, yes, I am. I am supporting the mini FCU. Wow, let's turn it down a little bit. Gosh, that terrain looks so good down there. If the frames continue to tank, we're at 3.1%. If it hits 4, we might have to alt F4. We'll see. Because I'm not going to be able to fly this approach with, like, I don't want to do it with, like, bad frame drop. I've had Guinness in the U.S. Tasted the same, to be honest. Really? Pretty sure the recipe is a science at this point. Okay, Aaron. So I used to, when I was an instructor, when I was a flight instructor for, like, not like entry level, like CFI for new students and all that stuff, not airline instructing. I would, after we got done with our shift on Fridays, we called it the, what was the name we had? Oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank on it. It was basically like the all-inclusive culture, I'll have to think of it, association. Basically, there was 2 Aussies straight out of Australia. Me, which I'm technically Italian, but I'm kind of a fake Italian because I don't speak Italian. But I am 100% on my bloodline, both my mother and father. So we had Italians, Australians. We had a guy from Venezuela. We had a guy from Mexico. And then we had 2 guys from South Africa. And we would all, it was like just this big merger pot of different backgrounds. And we'd all go on Friday night and we'd go have wings. And I would always get a Guinness, like a room. And it wasn't really cold. It's like the warmer it got, it sounds weird for beer, but the warmer it got, the better it tasted. So like room temp Guinness and wings, oh man, perfect on Fridays. It is a 30 series GPU, Tuger. Just went into PowerPoint mode, rip. I wonder if that song's annoying anyway. Hold on, I'm gonna see. Why? So it's not the frame that you're seeing dropping. It's not my sim, because my sim is running buttery smooth. It's unfortunately it's the internet. I want to run another test here. Maybe if I stop streaming the music too. I wonder. That might have something to do with it. We'll save the Latin music for our actual mini Mexico tour. I'm gonna run a little stream test here, a speed test. Hold on. Oh, it's good to you guys. All right, that's crazy because I can see it drop down and like, yeah, I am getting throttled though. My upload is struggling. It's like 18, 17. Why does it got to do that, man? It's because I just paid them. So I literally just paid. The bill was due for the internet. And when that happens, like, oh, we got the money now. Now we can destroy the internet. I don't think Americans like warm beer. The Guinness is the only one that I like, slightly room temperature. Yeah, 18 should be plenty, but I don't think it's stable. That's the problem. Do you have a 3090? I do have a 3090. Trying to up my PC specs. Do you know what I should get? I have a budget of $800 for a GPU. If you have $800 for a GPU, Tuger, get the best one you can get for $800. I don't know what the GPU prices are doing right now. I know there's some shenanigans happening with some of the NVIDIA cards coming out, like the 3060s and whatnot, or Forza 4060. We were just talking about this the other day. Either way, if you have $800 budget, get the best one you can get for your budget and look for that VRAM. That VRAM is pretty important. Junior Hoover, I work as an Airbus pilot for Southwest Airlines. Now we're getting onto the beer conversation. They're getting lower BH Aviation? Good. So I'm really trying, I've been saying this for a while, but there might be some changes coming to my sim here, and I really hope it works out sooner than later. Because I'm about due for an upgrade. My bottleneck on my computer is actually my CPU. Well, it's actually my motherboard, because I can't get a better CPU because it won't accept a newer generation than what I already have, which is actually kind of old now. So that's where my bottleneck is. Southwest, little known A350. Yes, exactly. I fly the A350 for Southwest. I recommend Negra Modelo. That's a good Mexican dark beer. Oh, Alberto. Yes, I have had that. Alberto, and I actually really enjoyed it now that you bring it up, because I remember my father-in-law brought some up. Yeah, and I really did enjoy it because he said, yeah, I know you like dark beers. Alberto, yes, I do enjoy that beer. I know exactly that. Matter of fact, no, I'm not going to have any today. I'm going to wait. I'm not going to do any Mexican beer or food this week. It's going to start next week. So I'm going to be going off on a trip, y'all. I leave on Friday. It's 4 days. It's going to be a long one. I traversed the continental United States 3 times in 4 days. East Coast, West Coast, East Coast, and then back home. And I have to flip my body clock right in the middle of it, which is going to be tough. Miami's in there. Got Orange County. Looking forward to Orange County. That'll be fun. Okay, but I come back Monday at 9 a.m. So probably won't stream Monday, but we will stream Tuesday. We'll kick it off Tuesday. And what I'd like to do about this one is I think this one I'm going to exclusively poll for each airplane for each stream. So we'll poll for each one. And I think it'll be a lot of fun. A little mini Mexico tour. Only thing you miss out on is frame generation. Oh, you're talking about the GPF, the GPUs? Yeah, the 40 series got the frame generations. When do you think IEs are coming max racing? Your guess is as good as mine, man. I don't have any insider information, and even if I did, I probably wouldn't be at liberty to discuss it, but I don't have any insider info on that. I'm right there with y'all, so I don't know. Let's see. I think it might be a little bit longer than what some people may think. I just swapped out my dad's motherboard and CPU last week. Nice. Southwest has Airbus aircraft now? Oh, yeah. You can get a 4070 Ti for $875. Wow, AJ, that's not bad. I tend to bring up beer all too often after a good night out. Yep. Did you fly the RNP Yankee 02 for MGGT in real life? I have flown... Michael, let's get into that now. It's probably about time that we start prepping. So yeah, we can see the airport. Aurora's out there, so we're going to start prepping now. Yes, I've flown several approaches into Aurora, so let's get into the prep now. Perhaps YouTube encoder dropping frames for a CPU bottleneck. You know, I would think you are onto something, but the fact that I never had any issues when I was on a fiber connection straight through and through. So I have to think that by process of elimination, the only thing that's different is the internet. I'm on a coax cable now versus a fiber connection, and when I was on fiber, I would stream at a 12.5. I streamed at 13,000 bit rate, full 60 FPS, 1080, and like it never blinked once. I don't think I dropped a single frame ever. I never had a keyframe error, nothing. The only time errors start popping up and things got to start tweaking is when I've had internet issues. And I've been through the slew of them. I've tried streaming on Starlink. I've tried streaming on Wi-Fi. I've tried streaming on, what's the other cable, not coax? Copper. I've done copper. I'm on coax now, and I've had fiber. So I've tested all of them, and the problems always seem to arise when it's not a fiber connection, number one, and or not stable. So my technical upload speed is enough. I have enough upload, but it's the stability of said upload that I think is more and more the issue. But it may just be something we have to accept here. You know, we've been pretty fortunate. The last few streams, I think, have had 0 frame drop. Today was just a little bit iffy. We've dropped 3% of frames today total. We've dropped 6,000 frames since the stream has begun, which in the grand scheme of things isn't all that much. But yeah, Lauren's right. Let's put those beers away now. We got to get prepping here. What's interesting, though, one thing before I say this, the keyframe frequency error that I get on YouTube, it only happens when I'm in the Fenix now. Like, we flew the 310 yesterday, flew the 146 all last week, never had that error. So I think it's interesting that it only pops up when I'm in the Fenix. I might have to do a C160 Transall stream after this. Nah, just kidding. I have to go get the smoker going. But I might have to just test something, though, just to see. Okay, here's the way. Have you ever flown with anyone from EASA land on the cockpit? I have, Javier. I have. From the good old EASA land, yes. I have flown with EASA guys. I've flown with some Koreans. Flown with all kinds. And now, apparently, my airline's hiring a lot of helicopter pilots. So, come out of a 20-year war. You fly with a lot of former military guys, and I've lately been flying a lot of, I think one of our chief pilots is a former H-60 Blackhawk guy, so he's bringing all his buddies on, and they're good pilots, man. They don't have a lot of fixed wing time, obviously, but they are sharp. All right, here we go. Ground charts. What am I looking for? No, I don't need any of that. I need star charts. Here we go. All right, here is Aurora. No, it's not. Is that Aurora? No, that's Mexico City. Even taking a long time to load this. Interesting. 6,000 frames at 30 FPS is only 200 seconds or 3 minutes. See? Chaos has got it. Put those beers away, so chug them. Yeah, exactly. Chug them now. 6,000 frames of that. I guess that's not bad, Chaos, if you think about it that way. But I wonder then, Chaos, why do you think it could be the Fenix that would cause the frequency issue? So the error that YouTube gives me is use a keyframe frequency of 4 seconds or less. Currently, keyframes are not being sent often enough, which can cause buffering. Current keyframes is 8.3. Note that ingestion errors can cause incorrect group of picture sizes. That's the error I'm getting. I've never seen it before coming to this HQ, and I only see it when I'm in the Fenix. Interesting. All right, here is Aurora. What is the field elevation? This one's up there too. Aurora is high up. So we're looking at 49.52 on that side, 48.79 on this side. We're planning for runway 2. The ILS to runway 2 Zulu approach is what we're going to brief up right now. So let's go through this top to bottom. 110.1017. So let's get our LS push buttons on. We're going to need, we're going to need those. We're also going to need to hard tune Aurora VOR. So I'm going to put AUR down here in the VOR 1.
One more recommendation, Pacific is another good one, lol.
Albert 1, thank you, my friend. Bank angle check right back at you, dude. I'll take those 5 bones and I'll go ahead and pick one of those beers up on the way home. Maybe just test it out tonight. I'll go to the single aisle, just pick out one of those single bottles if I can find it. Thank you, Albert, for the dono, man. Appreciate you. All right. We have that set. 017 DA is 5,100 feet. That's our DA. We're in a modern aircraft today, so we can actually, let me go back here. Let's put MGGT right here. And then we're going to go next phase, not coming down at 80344. We'll do 79. We'll do 320. Actually, we're going to do 300, and I'll show you why. We even have to slow that down even more. A barrel is, what I say, 5,100. Let me double check. I think it's 5,100. Yep, 5,100 on the Barrow, and let's go ahead and get a ATIS from there as well. We'll pull it up on this side. Keyframes are not only necessary. Keyframes are only necessary for rewinding the stream, really. Interesting. Well, and you know what else is interesting, Chaos? So now that keyframe error has gone away. It says stream healthy now. So it's like it's a sporadic error. I don't know. Oceanic clearance? No, we don't want that. We need a weather request, METAR, MGGT, boom, boom, yes, send it. That probably won't work, will it? Don't I have to do... Oh, no, I think it will. Receive messages, weather data. Here we go, 200 at 12. And then I'm going to actually run the actual landing data on my calculator. Hopefully I can show you guys some info on the camera too. 26, QNH is 3009. 3009 is set. That's the ILS Zulu. Now it's important that we verify we're on the Zulu. And I'll show you guys right now why that is. So we're going to zoom it down. We'll go to plan mode. I'm going to hit the bottom of my flight plan. Okay, Aurora 9000. Boom, there it is. So, I reset the views. I'm going to hide this for now. Can I hide this? No? I thought I could. Okay, so we're at the ILS Zulu runway 2. The Zulu approach has the approach start at Aurora and the 166 with a right turnout. I believe it's the Yankee, it starts from the other way and goes left. Now, when Guatemala is landing Zulus, it's very important that you verify you have the right one loaded, because if you do not, you'll end up flying the other direction, right smack dab into incoming or oncoming traffic, which is a big no-no. So you always want to make sure there you are running the right one. And matter of fact, we can probably pull it up here. Zulu approach. So the Yankee for 2, watch that turn. It's going to be from the left. So yeah, the Yankee, so you come in here and then you take the 221 and flip it in this way. So you want to make sure you're on the Zulu, which is set. Now there are a couple of different things we have to take into account. One, we know it's high density altitude, so we know our true airspeed is going to be higher. We know our ground speed is going to be higher. With a higher ground speed comes a larger radius of turn. Look at this note right here. This is very important. Do not exceed 7 DME off the Aurora VOR when you make this turn. It's very important that you are configured and slow enough that you can make this turn. I'll also put a ring or a fix info out here to back me up. So I'm going to go fix info. I'm going to put in the AUR VOR, and I'm going to select the one that's 200 miles away, and we're going to put a 7 nautical mile radius around the VOR, and you can see in real life, I would really like to see this inside of this ring here, and I think it would be. This might just be a calculation error on the part of Fenix, and then it may also be because of our ground speed right now, or our speed. But in real life, this would and should be inside of this ring there. So with that is to back us up, 7 DME off the Aurora VOR, 5 miles. You see this waypoint here with a solid triangle? It's a small but very important detail. This is what we call a flyover waypoint. Okay, that is a flyover waypoint, not a flyby waypoint. So we can't smart turn or allow the airplane to do its smart turn and go past it. We need to cross the 5 DME fix before beginning the turn. So if we look into our box here, we'll go to flight plan, hit the airport key to bring you to the bottom of your flight plan page, and you will see, if I zoom in the range, that is actually calculated as a flyover waypoint, and it is labeled D166 Echo. And if you look in your box, D166 Echo, and guess what? That little triangle. What is that little triangle, you may ask? Look here, overfly. So overfly is active already for that waypoint. Now, you can make any waypoint an overfly waypoint if you want to. Matter of fact, I probably could make Aurora an overfly waypoint, and we're also going to dial up 180 constraint, and we're also going to make it a 9,000 hard altitude instead of at or above. I'm going to insert that as well. Now again, we kind of talked about that on our flight into Mexico City yesterday. Even though the constraint on the chart shows at or above 9,000 feet, when you come into these certain airports, you can put yourself behind the 8 ball if you allow the airplane to continue, especially these non-FMS2 Airbuses. You can put yourself behind the 8 ball because it'll say, oh, I'm above 9,000, I'm fine. We'll cross it at 11 or 10,000 feet, which is going to be way too high, especially at that altitude, to get down and get stable and get slow enough to make that radius to turn, not really a true radius to turn, but to make that, that right-hand turn to final on this particular approach. So those are things you got to take into account. You don't just want to glaze over them, think it's like any other approach, because when you do this for real, I don't know what kind of weather we got down there. I think it's going to be mostly VFR, but I've flown this approach in hard IMC at minimums, and I'm telling you, when you start that descent, you're looking at mountains in front of the airplane, and you are descending down into the soup with mountain peaks coming up in front of you. So you are flying into ascending terrain, which can definitely be a little eyebrow raising, especially if you're not used to it. So that's why these little details, although small, can make a big difference between being safe and being unsafe or being unstable. Now the VOR here, you see max 185 knots. So I've hard-tuned that to make it 180. I've also hard-tuned it to make it 9,000 instead of at or above 9,000. We're going to fly down here. We'll make the turn. Do not exceed 7 DME. Only once you pass the 5 DME fix here are we really going to start down to our bottom altitude or final approach fixed altitude of 6,300 feet. Hopefully we'll be able to actually we can go all the way down to 7,200 feet to 5 miles. You see how it's a slight down angle here? We can go down to 7,200 feet but no lower until we turn inbound, and then you can drop down to your platform altitude, as the IASAs call it, out there on the other side of the world. So platform altitude or final approach fixed altitude 6,300 feet. That's another gotcha. You want to make sure you stay clear of that. That's also for terrain. Breaking out of the turn and on the approach, we're looking for PAPIs on the left with the real approach with reels. So those are those flashing lights on the edge of the either side, and then the SASL approach light system. If we have to go missed, very important, straight out 017 to 2 miles from the Aurora VOR, then a left turn 11,000 feet to join the 331 outbound to Beaupass and hold. So we'll look down here, we'll hit the airport key, go to the bottom. There it is, intercept out, Beaupass and hold. That's in the box, matches the plate. Very good. So that is set up. Required ceiling and visibility, we have all that. Okay, so that's done. Now we're going to do a couple of fun things. First and foremost, I'm going to run a landing performance with the Fenix. Then I'm going to run landing performance with my actual real-world performance. And then I'm also going to make sure we're not missing anything. Landing weight 139.4. 139.4. I'm going to make sure we're not missing anything on the company pages. Low auto brakes, we'll do max reverse, flaps full, auto thrust. And what am I missing? Oh yeah, runway 2. Why do we have a 12-knot tailwind? 200 at 12? Really? We set up this whole approach and now they're going to be landing the other way? Uh-oh. We might have just did all that for nothing. Let's see. 20. We might have to do the RMP 20. Is 30 too late to study ATPL and find work after? No, not at all, Chris. Not at all, man. Rip to that. Let me see. Real quick, let me see. I'm going to pull up the real weather here. MGGT 212, Team Vodka's got it. Yeah, that's what I'm showing too. All right, well, I guess you want to do a go around on the 02 and then come back for 20. Should we do that? Kind of want to see this approach though. Yeah, they're showing 200 at 12 right now. I can't do an RNP with the ELAC out. I can't do RNP AR. I can't do RNP AR, which this is a RNP X-ray. This is an AR. Legally, we can't do that approach. Okay, we might be, we got a VOR Yankee 20. What's that look like? These are all ARs. We can't do them with our MEL. Yeah, we got to set up for the VOR Yankee, y'all. All right. So let's look at this. VOR 020220. So that's the Yankee. What does the Zulu look like? Okay, well that one's lame. Let's definitely do this one. VOR Yankee 20. Eamon, you can find the METAR by going to your main page and then just go My Flight and go right here. And where is it? Arrival METAR, retrieving 200 at 12. So we have to set up some stuff. We'll take it off of Aurora as well, but we got to set up the VOR. Oh boy. Which one did we say we were doing? The VOR Yankee 20. Nope, not that one. No arrival. 20 Yankee. No star, but approach via Aurora. Insert. Okay. In this case, we do not need LS push buttons. But this is going to change quite a bit of stuff for us. Let's go to plan mode, zoom it back in here. Tighter, Patek. Okay, so coming all the way down to Aurora. Now, I want to make Aurora... So you see how it's doing that lead-on turn? I guess that's fine. Doesn't have to be flyover, but we're going to adjust it again. We're also going to make this... I'll tell you what, we're going to make this 170 knots, and we're going to make it a hard altitude of 9, just like we did initially on the other one. We're going to insert that. It says we're flying a modern plane, flies a VOR approach. Yeah, I've actually done the VOR in here the first time I ever flew to Guatemala. we did the VOR approach. But I think we actually did the VOR 02. I don't know if I've done the 20. So let me pull out my actual complex special arrival information here. And we're going to have to reset our minimums too. Arrivals, engine and operative missed approach guidance, refer to the complex special, exercise extreme caution accepting radar vectors, do not accept visual approach clearances and circle to land clearances. We're not approved for that. It is strongly recommended to begin all approaches at the initial approach fix, pay close attention to DME limits, winds aloft, and ground speed. There is a high occurrence of unstable approaches into this airport. Runway 20, configure to flaps 2 prior to CATAS. Program CATAS 160 at 9700. Be fully configured by the final. Do we even have CATAS in here? We don't, because that's from the other one. So we're doing the VOR Yankee. We don't have CATAS, but the final approach fix is 6500. I want to be fully configured by D7.0. So I tell you what, let's make Aurora. Let's make it even slower. Let's make Aurora 160 knots at 9,000. We'll insert that. And I'm also going to start a little step down here. We're going to do a little step down to 300. Just so we can start trickling down. I see somebody on there. Mach descent. We're coming down to 300. No longer need LS push buttons. Our minimums for this approach, 5,400, but it is an MDA. So we have to do what, chat? We got to add 50. So 5,450 for our new minima. We'll set that. Now, because it's a VOR, we're also going to have to back up green needles. So we're going to have our VOR displayed, and we're also going to need to hard tune Aurora in this one here. And for the per the approach, we should have two things hard tuned. We should have the 355 and then the 198 inbound. So I'm going to put 198 inbound on my side on the rad nav. I'm going to put 198 inbound on my course. And we're starting to turn, we're looking good. 355 outbound on the FO side. 355. Change that. 355. Well, I guess I could have just tuned it on my MCDU. 198, 355. He'll have his VOR needle up. I'll have mine ready to go in case I need it. That is set. 5450 in the barrel. All right. Now let's run some landing data and see what we got. Do I watch IndyCar racing? No, not really. All right, runway 20. So there we go, 7123. Now I'm going to run a landing calculation right now. Let's see how it compares. We don't have any landing distance procedure for slats and flaps for that stuff. So, all right, let me select A320. Sure. We don't need all that stuff. Alright, so I'm running this on my actual landing calculator that we use in the real airplane. I want to see how close we get. So, runway 20, winds are planned at 200 at 12 knots. OAT is 26 degrees Celsius. The QNH is 3009. Runway condition, we'll go 6 dry, anti-ice off. Landing weight, we've programmed 139.4. Configuration greater than 27. Config full. Air conditioning on, normal. Go down gradient, manual thrust, auto thrust. Brake mode low. Reverse. So this is calculated with no reverse. I don't know reverse, so we'll do that. Compute. Yo, just turn in. Howdy, y'all. Good to see you, Bosuck. I'm running my own landing computation. I want to see how it compares to the Fenix. Better check your MSA before arriving. Aurora looks like you have high terrain inbound Aurora. I'll take a look at that. Wow. So my landing computer for the airplane shows a landing distance of 75.32 and a factor of 86.61. So this is only about this is less than 500 feet off. And this could be actually, wait, no, 1.15 factored, 82.67, and mine is 86.61. 400 feet off. That's pretty cool. So it's only about 400 feet different. That's pretty accurate. Remember, that's across 50-foot obstacle. So Fenix is pretty close to the real thing. All right. We've done our landing computations, and we're going to do low brakes, full reverse. MSA coming inbound from this direction. We got to be at or above. Yeah, we won't. We'll be sure to be clear of all that terrain. Don't worry. Max 185 at 9. We've already slowed it down to 160 at 9,000. We'll be fully configured by 7.0. Missed approach is different now. It's southbound 11,000 to join the 169. No circling this side. We're not going to plan on circling on this approach. Then we got multiple high sector altitudes, the highest of which is 15,100. So little bit spicy. We got to make sure we're on point. That's all set. DME required. Do not exceed 7 DME. Aurora in South Arc, which we're not on. So there is no 7 DME restriction on this one, although you would probably want to stay as close as you can here on this arc. So you've all been briefed. I've been briefed. We're going to continue descent down to 240. What's this message we got here? Oh, Viva Ops. Delay code. Fix your airplane, that's why. Alright, so RadNav page, his is set, mine is set. Alright, this is going to be interesting. You guys feel confident? Alright, let me go back here. I'm going to make sure I have on the company pages. My iPad is quickly dying. Delay code. See maintenance log. I've been briefed. You've been briefed. We're wearing briefs. Yeah, stars are, so it even says here in my notes, stars are published and available but rarely issued as part of the approach. If a star is entered in the McDo, VIA is not available, and therefore the Aurora VOR cannot be inserted by using the VIA function. So that's can be a pain in the butt when you have a star and you're like, oh, I need the approach VIA, but you can't load it because you loaded a star. Once no longer using the star, disconnect and reconnect. It basically just tells you how to set up an approach VIA. Once approach clearance is received, passing the Aurora VOR, ensure 6300 is set in the FCU altitude window, initiate a managed descent, arm the approach in the procedure turn inbound. So that would be for the 02 approach. I'm trying to see if there's anything for 20. If landing to the south, VOR Zulu or Yankee is preferred approaches. Zulu is preferred. Straight in VOR Zulu. We're going to make our life a little bit harder because we want to do the Yankee one, just because why not? So that Katas, that looks good. The approach path for 20 is offset east of the runway center line. So that's important that we brief that, because you're going to come out on the approach and you want to make sure you see the runway, and if you're offset, you might be looking in the wrong spot. Final phase of the approach is flown over the city with buildings and towers below the approach course. On the approach path to runway 20, there is a tower, difficult to see, that is only 230 feet below the MDA. Can I show you guys this? I don't see why not. Let me show you guys here. Pull up this tiller cam. So this is kind of what we got. This is a picture of, this is like in our airport briefings that we get for a lot of these airports that are in South America, Mexico, anywhere where it could be a little bit non-standard. We get these nice pictorials and briefs. And on this particular one, there's a tower that is hard to see, but apparently it's only 230 feet below the MDA. So almost see if you can see that. So that's kind of cool. We'll be aware of that. Config 3 maneuvering, low speed, feels weird like that in real life. What do you mean? We're not going to do flaps 3. We need to do flaps 2 on this one. We got to slow down or else we're going to smoke the brakes. Here is a closer view of the tower. Oh, wow. The MDA 5170. That's a difference. 230. This is one of the reasons why 20 has a displaced threshold for obstacle clearance. Avoid starting the descent to runway 20 early or going below the approach path. All right, well, I'm glad I read this brief. Optical illusions are a factor. The runway is shaped like a bowl. The bowl shape gives the illusion of a shorter than actual available runway on approach. Runway length is deceiving. Most of the runway may be used during landing, except for us because we're coming in over 20 and it's going to be a little bit spicy. So let's go ahead and set 15,000 now. We'll start down. Actually, make it 18. Thrust idle, descent. We got to get down, slow down. All right, I'm just making sure there's nothing else to mess up. Basically, this runway's jacked up. No, cameras shouldn't. Are they frozen? No, we're good. All right. More drag. Yep. Let's start coming down. We got flight recorder ready as well. Now, in real life, instead of talking about beer and all that good stuff the whole way down for the last 2 hours, we would have been taking a solid hour or so briefing, getting everything set up. But all right, flight recorder is ready to go. Look at that terrain we're screaming down towards. Jeez. Looks nice out here. Look at that. Spicy. I flew in a 319 before and cried because I drank so much water. Then the flight attendant told me that the water and fuel both leaked and I was drinking some fuel. Really? I doubt it. It'd be pretty hard pressed to get fuel inside the potable water tank. Alright, there's our transition altitude. We're going to keep coming down. Then vectoring altitude, 14,000, 13,000. And what was our 3009? Thrust idle, descent. 0009. 09 is set. Lights on. Let's do this. Aurora traffic, what am I? Aerolicious? Viva 357, we're about 20 miles to the west of the Aurora VOR, setting up for the Circle 20 Aurora. Water, I'm a good bit behind you, so I'll let you know how the landing is. I will, man. I think, was that you up there then?
Aurora traffic, Air Mexico 515 approaching Aurora VOR, 34 VOR.
So he's 20 miles out. There he is on TCAS. All right. Let's go ahead and set 9,000. Wow, look at that. That's what I'm talking about. You start descending down into, I've come in here where it's been overcast all here and you just see these mountain peaks popping up. Aerolicious? Aero and Lances. The way you spell it out there, Stephen, the way I would say it, it would be Aero and Lances. I don't think is that all right? You gotta dumb it down. You gotta make it more country for me, man. Spell it out even easier for country boy. Because I don't think it's Aero and Lances. Feels like the Fenix with flaps 3 going to alpha prop way faster compared with flaps full. I haven't really noticed anything too crazy yet. I do feel that it is definitely in need of some tweaking. I feel like there we go. It should be right about there, right? Maybe not quite that far. Right about there. Reset that view. Alright. Aero en loses. There we go, Lauren. Aero en lo... Wait, no. Lauren's is aero en los ace. Aero en los ace. Aero lances. For us Texas folks. There you go, Al. Aero lances.
For traffic, Air Mexico 1049.
11 for 10, or 11 for 9. Flip-flop flare check. Ooh, thank you. Yeah, we're good. I didn't get up. I'm pretty stable. But we are going to be way hot. Let's go speed brakes out. I'm going to select speed. Oh, no. See, I need mini FCU. Damn it. Oh, my gosh. Need mini FCU. I'm going to dial all the way back to 160. And that is looking amazing. Let's go ahead and activate and confirm. Yeah, I know speed limits have been exceeded briefly here. Should I start the recording out here? We'll wait. That rainbow was, look at that view. Man. Rainbow and everything. VFE next. Let's get flaps 1. All right, now we can arm the approach. Final lap. It's clear status. That's associated. All right, so VOR, we're going to be turning outbound on mine. I'm going to have that as a backup, but it is an app nav approach. So we're doing a VOR approach in the app nav strategy. We've captured final lap. We could set our go around altitude now, which is 11,000. 11,000 is blue. There's VFE next, flaps 2. We'll go ahead and start the recording now. So we were a little bit hot. I would have liked to have been at 160 there. We're joining out. You can double check yourself here. That and his, so that's our inbound course. We're also going to go flaps 3 on this one out of sequence. There's the airport down there. That is cool. All right, now we're 160. We're on speed. We can stow the brake. We're turning outbound on path. Now we should 198. Oh, that's the final. Yep. So there's our final approach course. There is our outbound course, 339. So he's double checking in green needles. We're looking good. You can keep this approach in app nav because we are GPS primary. If our GPS primary was not available down here, then we would have to have some green needles. But theoretically, we're set up. Now this is going to be our inbound turn to final. We're looking good at or above 7,000. Was that 500 there? Kind of blocked on the way that's depicted. All right, let's go ahead and configure to final approach. We're going to go gear down, manage speed. I want to be fully configured before the turn here. VFE next minus 10, flaps full. Here we go. Whoa, look at that view. Jeez, that is stunning, y'all. All right, we are configured. Landing checklist. Cabin crew is advised. Auto thrust in speed mode. ECAM memo. Gear down 3 green. Spoilers armed. Seatbelts are on. ECAM status is checked associated. Auto brakes are low. ECAM checklist. Landing checklist is complete. So this is one of those rare instances where you're going to be fully configured a little ways out. Now we're going to start the turn inbound. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Did we time it right or what? Oh my word. the visuals on this approach, I mean, I feel like that's a GoPro view on YouTube. Like, this is real life. I need some Microsoft Kool-Aid in chat. Can we get some Kool-Aids? Some juicy Kool-Aids. This is straight out of like that nomadic cockpit casual video. The rainbow marks where we're going to crash. All right, remember, we're going to be offset as we roll out of this turn here. This is stunning, guys.
2,500.
Radio altimeter live. All right, we're still in the turn. We can double check our VOR. You can see our VOR needle is coming in now, so we're backing up. We're backing up our GPS navigation with the land-based nav aids. What are the passengers seeing? Jeez.
Traffic, Mexico 515, runway 20 back into.
Aurora traffic, Viva 357, just turned final, 7 miles, runway 20, Aurora.
Good luck.
Thanks. Alright, let's fly this. We'll watch the replay. Remember the tower? So, for making it easier for me, I'm going to turn off the FO's flight director. I can see on my VOR we're right on course now. I actually can't make out the runway just yet, so we're going to keep on coming down. Once the runway's in sight, we're going to go autopilot, flight director's off, and we're going to go bird mode. Charlie Romeo, I couldn't agree more with you, man. Like, it's just, it blows my mind, man. And this is default. Like, I have no add-ons. Right, I'm actually really trying to find the runway now. I know where the buildings are, and the airport should be right around here. And remember, we are coming in a little bit offset, so if we're not bang on, that's normal.
$1,000.
Stable, clear to land. Okay, I can see the rails now. Just barely, I can see the reels. Oh wow, look at that. Why is my sim doing that? That's twice it's done that. Oh well, I don't care. It looks good now. Guys, this was a VOR to minimums. Runway. Landing. Wow. This was a VOR approach to minimums. Autopilot's off. Flight director's off. Give me the bird. Bird's on. A little bit offset now. Let's go ahead and get center line. Some gusty winds. 15 to 20 here. Whoa. All right, I can see the pappies. We've got 3 red, 1 white. It is bumpy.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20, retard, 10, 5.
Jeez. Could have milked it for more, but I don't want to. I'm gonna set her down. Spoilers are reverse green. We're decelling 70 knots. Manual brakes. Idle reverse. Wow. We're going to do this approach at least 2 more times. This was pretty incredible views. Floater and legal. We had a lot of juice coming in there. I even pulled the power at 30. And it just wanted to keep floating a little bit. We had that nice 18 I don't even know what it was. It was going between 15 to 19. I think I saw 20. It was all pretty much a headwind. So you get that increase of performance. I feel like, not trying to make excuses. I don't even know what the landing weight was. What does Chaos normally post it? But normally,
Over traffic and land Route 219 10 miles.
or not normally, I would say if there's a spot that the Fenix does need updating, it's how it handles winds, especially gusty wind conditions.
You are Zulu approach runway 20.
And that's what we were in right now. But by all means, I think it was a stable approach. I know it was stable. We were legal. I could have floated it out. Could add a little bit more back pressure. 341, 357. I mean, dude, 357 is, I'll take it. What's kind of not realistic at this density altitude, and especially in a CEO, it wouldn't really be that floaty. Typically, you pull that power out, and she likes to come down. Probably should have pulled the power earlier. It was a 107 for you. Nice, Xander, in the fly-by-wire. We're going to have to take... That is the thing. We're going to have to take the fly-by-wire next to one of these high-density altitude airports. I kind of want to see how it handles. And landing downhill, too. Ooh, must try it at night. That would be sweet. There's a guy on final right now. I'm trying to taxi slow so we can watch him land. What's with these taxi lights? These are huge. Those lights are massive. But the welcome to Guatemala, y'all. I feel like this is a really tight taxiway. Where's that guy at? He should be touching. Oh, here he comes right now. Oof. Did he bounce? Dude, he bounced. That guy had to bounce. It was either a bounce or a desync. Oh, it's 737 though. That bouncing is pretty standard. Taxi lights here grow bigger because of low air density. That's funny. All right, we're not going to shut anything off. We're going to roll her up into the gate here. We're going to take a look at that stunning replay. Is that a bounce?
Negative.
With the Fenix V2, will it be a paid upgrade or will it be free for Fenix users? I do not know. Zalbo, I do not know. Flaps 2 at replay start. Good deal, Chaos. Whoa, 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 whoa. Second leg? Nah, man, I got some dinner to cook. All right, let's take one of the 42 different lines here and find ourselves a gate. Not a bounce, just a last second baro change. Yeah, that's right, Kaz. Internet is sketchy. Oh yeah, we're up to 9,000 dropped frames, 3.2%. This is a payware airport. I don't remember who made it though. Looks half decent. All right, it's a second line. Oh, we came up short. We came up short. That was bad, Erp. Double erped it. Brakes are set. Flaps 2 for replay start. That is set. We'll go into replay cam. We're going to look at the touchdown, then we're going to do the same thing as we did yesterday. Disconnect from the Vatical Sim. A 493 for you, Water. All right, let's see how we did here. So that was a replay start. Let's go ahead and turn the park brake off. I will watch this later. Gosh, that approach though.
Speed.
Yeah. Resume. Let's let it do its thing here. This looks so real though. How are the brake temps, Charlie Romeo? In real life, they'd be smoking. That's one thing. Well, actually, I forgot to check them before we left. Are they in the replay? Oh, yeah, I didn't check them before we parked there, Charlie Romeo, but they probably would have been close to 300 at least by the time we got to the gate. I didn't get on the brakes too hard. The one thing that is nice about this airport is you do have enough runway to kind of ride that reverse thrust down. So you ride that reverse thrust down, don't touch the brakes, and that'll really aid in keeping them cool. Yeah, it was definitely gusting there. I don't know if it was really gusting or more so just chopping. A lot of light turbulence, convective activity. Look at those clouds out there. Nope, high altitude landing is not required. The high altitude landing button, Dan, is not required on this one. I think that's over 10,000 feet. We did use that on the South America tour, though. But 285 brake temp with the fly-by-wire, nice. That seems about right, depending on how many brakes you're on. 285, 300 at least by the time you get to the gate. So I pulled the power, and it just didn't settle like I expected it to. And then I just let her ride on down. All right, let's pause it. Ooh, yeah. Let's watch it from outside. Let's see how we did here. Can they use lab water to cool the brakes? No. I don't have the proper scenery link in this one, C-Boss. I'm sorry, man. I'll have to get it for you later. I don't even remember which one this one is. I installed it a while ago. Alright, so power was out. I just expected it. Yeah, see how it's just kind of hanging there? I would have expected it to just come down a lot sooner. Bang on the center line. That was good. 10 for 10 on the center line. The urban scenery, I know, Charlie Romeo. I was looking at that too. Look at that. Oh, Sierra Sim. Thank you. Yeah, that's what it is. That I remember. It is Sierra Sim. Ooh, look at the reflection down there of the 320. All right, one more from right here. Then we're going to do sail. I'm going to wind it all the way back. You can enjoy the cinematic replay. Yeah, it just kind of hung there. I don't know. I'm not mad at it. I do love that asymmetric deployment of the... I don't know how hard that was to code, but if Amir ever hears, I mean, the way that they got this asymmetric deployment of the spoilers, freaking sweet. Small, tiny detail that pick up on. Look at that King Air over there. All right. Look great from this end. Thanks for the ride, Greg. Appreciate you, man. I'm going to leave you guys with a Flap 2 hella amazing visual scenic approach into Guatemala City. Thank you, Albert, Wrong Side Sim, RC Flyer, Syntac, Seat 2A, DJ Thomas, and Mike for the donos today. Appreciate you. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. Sorry that the internet was a little bit spotty. It wasn't the cleanest stream, I'm aware of that. But I still had fun. Thank you for bearing with me on the MEL procedures. I know for a lot of y'all, it's like you like seeing it. Some don't like seeing it, but I think the most hardcore viewers, you guys like to see that MEL stuff, even though it's kind of boring. We're just doing flight control stuff, but it's the real deal. And that MEL actually led us into having to switch up approaches because we couldn't do an AR. So kind of cool to see it work out the way it did. I'm going to be getting out of here. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, Wednesday afternoon, evening, wherever you may be tuning in from. And until next time, I'm not going to make any promises for tomorrow. Tomorrow's my last day off. We'll see. But Mexico tour, little mini Mexico taco tour, starting next week. Y'all take care. Stay safe. Stay healthy. I'm V1. See ya.
$1,000.